demanding change, understanding what it means to bear witness. And boy, aren't we bearing witness? Aren't we bearing witness? What a time, what a time, what a time. We're bearing witness, we're being the change we want to see. By the way, interesting I should say that, because do you know that there is an organization in the world, interestingly, there is indeed a global organization, you know. And what is the name of that organization? But their theme, their mantra, their theme, their, what we say in radio, we call it the tagline, their mandate, their vision, their mission is wrapped up in one Latin term. Goodness gracious, if I could remember it off of my head. One Latin term that actually translates to what I just said. Here and everywhere. Yes. Yes, so there is an organization. I think it's called the Pilgrim Society. And we don't hear a lot about the Pilgrim Society. But the Pilgrim Society has been around from, say, the 1900s, the early 1900s. And they were founded, the society, I said they were because it come like a war for true, but the society was founded in 2 countries simultaneously and in 2 cities simultaneously. So it was founded in London and it was founded at the same time in New York, or I think a few months after in New York. It's called the Pilgrim Society. And as far as I recall, it was originally created because they said they wanted to promote good relations between the British and the American elites. The elites, you know. And they formed with particularly people from the business sector, from politics, from finance, from diplomacy, and let's not forget, from the so-called landed gentry, from the royal family. If you want to know who really, in terms of the media, remember BlackRock controlled a lot of the media because BlackRock is an investment group, so everybody in there. So that whole thing is a part of that society. So then, if you notice when they're having these lavish dinners, they are on all the channels in the US and in the United States and also in other parts of Europe. And they dress in their coattails and so on and so forth and then pretty frock. And they point the cameras at who they want us to see. But if you go beyond who they want you to see to look at who's at the table, you'll get a pretty good idea of what the Pilgrim Society is. I do have to take a break and I do have to go to my first interview. But here's the thing. I think I'll find some time in this program, and I know I say that a lot, but I think I'll find some time this morning to go into a bit more in depth about the Pilgrim Society. I think it is important for me to do that because of the times that we're in now and the fact that we can't seem to get through to anyone, to put our finger on anything. We know something is wrong. We know that something is behind. You know how we say the program is always running in the background? Enter the Pilgrim Society. Enter the Bohemian Grove. Pay special attention to the Bohemian Grove and to the Pilgrim Society. These 2 things are very much functioning, but we don't hear about them. Let me take a break. With a brother who now has a case regarding Ganja in court, and we were scheduled to speak with him and his attorney. We're not able to get the attorney on the phone lines, and I was doing this because as a responsible journalist, because here it is. I've been in this space for a very long time. I've been doing these kinds of interviews for a very long time. Sometimes you can just be a journalist or a reporter and interview someone who is has a charge on them by the police, and just let them talk. And even while they're talking, because all journalists who study journalism at a certain level have to do what we call journalism law. We understand that it is not a fair thing to do. We understand that it's not the right thing to do. So I always say to the person, brother or sister, who has that charge, that I'll have the conversation with you if it's something we need to air out, but I will have it with you along with your attorney, because this is now a case in court, and the court doesn't pay attention to emotions. So I've been saying this to this brother, that we won't do this interview without his attorney. But and both the attorney and himself, they actually said that they would be on this morning, but we are not able to get his attorney on the phone lines. But we're still going to say good morning to the brother and to say what the charge is, but we won't go into too much details about what happened, what led to the charge, but just to say that he has a charge on him regarding ganja. And until we can get his attorney with him, the attorney has to guide the process of conversation. This is why we do this. It's called responsible journalism. We can do it for the hype, and we can do it for the likes, and have people talk themselves into jail or into prison. But I do not do that. So let me go to the phone lines. My brother, Lotz Dean Anderson, how are you doing, sir?
Greetings, I sister, and greetings to our extended running African family.
Good to have you.
Part of the family.
Of course you are. Good to have you online. We talk from time to time about so many different things. And here now, just to remind our listeners that sometimes we talk to you about football in St. Mary. Sometimes we talk to you about football generally. Sometimes we talk to you about 420. Sometimes we talk to you about a Ganja festival or a Ganja event or a Ganja conference or a Ganja summit, because these are the things that you are involved in. Now, though, that you have been charged with possession of Ganja?
Well, it goes to show the hypocrisy that is in the system, because as you are aware, this year we celebrate 10 years of decriminalization. And I'm saying to myself that, especially in the police JCF, there seems to be a lack of information, or a lack of knowledge, or a lack of wanting to accept the fact that, Jamaicans in general can utilize this herb that has been criminalized for so long,
Mm-hmm.
And, it was sad that what should have been a traffic offense ended up at my home, or my property, I should say, in Highgate in St. Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad that, Rastafari, is still being ostracized and still being profiled in this country.
All right. Well, we know that it's a court case now because you have been charged and you have a court date, right?
Yes.
All right. And we heard you said, this is why we're not going to go into too many details as to the process, but only to say, and you said it was a traffic offense, and it ended up at your home. It started in Port Maria. But ended up in your home where? In Highgate?
In Highgate.
Right.
Yes.
And
even though I don't live there, because I told her I haven't lived there for a while, but it's my property.
Right.
I live in St. Catherine. I live in Linstead, but she said somehow, I mentioned something to her, and she said, well, the soup said, well, go and check it out. Just go and check it out,
Right. So you well, let us not say what you think of it. I know from your perspective what the process that led to here. So let's keep that for a while until we can have this conversation again while your attorney is online, and then you'll say how and where to go. But just to say, what was the charge at the end of the day?
Possession and distribution of the herb,
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw less than a pound, and the inspector said that she's charging, even though she said we were just going to look, because I reminded her that, remember, my status in the parish, I've hosted two of the biggest Ganja events in the parish so far, and that my name is supposed to be in your system, because it was the superintendent of police that has to sign these permits. Mm-hmm. So therefore, my name and all of these things, I told her who she could call and all of it, but she wasn't interested. As a matter of fact, she wasn't even interested in Rastafari, and it was during Black History Month. So I said, Madam, this honorable man that I'm speaking about, it was a state visit that was held for him. But she didn't want to hear anything about Rastafari. So,
right. Long and short of it is that less than a pound found in your home, and they slapped this charge on you. And when is your court date?
So the court date was set for Thursday last, which was the 10th. Mm-hmm. But I got a last minute call on the 9th, almost when I was going to my bed, that, I should not turn up in court. I got a call from a constable from the Portmore police station to say that the paperwork were not done properly, and the court would not accept them, and therefore a new summons would be served, and was asking me whether I'd be in the parish. But I called my lawyer, of course, Mr. Goff, and he spoke with them and told them that they need to get in touch with me then, because they're the ones at fault. So,
okay. So they're still right, because I'm thinking, would they then vacate the case? I mean, so, here you are where the papers weren't properly filed. Now, in hindsight, do you charge a Rastafari for less than a pound of ganja and carry this, not just for possession, but also distribution, which even adds another layer to it. In a situation where we're talking about decriminalization and even legalization, it's pretty interesting. And also where you say that Rastafari, that there's a sacramental element to Rastafari having ganja in their possession. So what's the next step?
Well, the next step is to continue to take the advisement of my lawyer. Mm-hmm. And to see where the officer or the officers involved, whether they're going to continue to process or to deal with this. But
brother, I wouldn't say much more about it, and I'm telling you this from just my experience in this space. So they have that issue. And let us not aggravate that issue for right now. Let us leave it at this, and let me know if anything else happens. Let us just leave the space as it is, and if anything happens, then we will return to the discussion.
No problem.
Let us leave it at that.
But before you go, I just want to remind Jamaicans and the wider world that come next week Sunday, we're celebrating World Ganja Day 420. And it's happening right at Island Village, right there in smack in Ochiris. And, it's a day of activities surrounding ganja, the plant, the herb. So of course we have the likes of Jesse Royal, Rasai, Pablo YG.
I do have to go to a break.
And others.
I do have to take the time signal, but so it's next week Sunday. Where? Next
week Sunday at Island Village. All road leads to Island Village in Ochiris next week Sunday.
420.
The 20th. Yes, it's all about World Ganja Day. It's all about how the benefits, the uses, and the facts about ganja, and of course the elements of entertainment will be part of the whole.
We'll see you there. We'll see you there.
Man. So we're inviting all Jamaica.
Please keep in touch with us. Let us know how this unfolds.
Yes, we'll do. And thanks again, KABU.
Thank you, my brother.
Great job.
You're welcome.
And we're so indebted to you. We're so.
My brother, thank you so much. I do have to go because I'm
to Max Romeo. He died. That's my mentor.
And I know that IRFM has done.
I really want to, say condolences
to the family,
the Smith family, the Romeo family.
Yes.
Ably led by Charm.
Thank you so much for that, my brother.
One love.
To the fore. I know IRFM has done wall-to-wall coverage of this ever since the news broke. So we've had 2 full days of coverage, but from our own space, our deepest condolences to Max Romeo's family and the wider entertainment industry. Thank you so much, my brother, for sending me that information too early in the day so that we could pass that on to others in the media. That is wow. Thank you so much. All right. So, we were looking at, the Pilgrim Society, and I said I'd find some time to probably, talk a little bit more about it, and at a later date to do some deeper research, a deeper dive into the Pilgrim Society. But just for now, their motto is here and everywhere. This is not an ordinary motto. This is a serious motto. It was chosen deliberately. This was chosen from 1903, 1902, 1903, and they meant every word of it. Here and everywhere. This is what empire sounds like. So even though it might appear as if they're not here or anywhere, they are still very much here and everywhere. Now, it's a Pilgrim Society. I told you before that the membership, to become a member of the Pilgrim Society is by invitation only. And you have to belong to the elite. So you have to be a member of the royal family. You have to be royalty, or you have to be a high-ranking diplomat, or you have to be a banker. These are the kind of people, corporate executives, media owners, political leaders, people who we know were early members of the Pilgrim Society, included people like Winston Churchill. By the way, Henry Kissinger was one of the, most active members of the Pilgrim Society. Of course, Winston Churchill, that whole thing that they did with Israel in Palestine, on the land, all of that. So notice how that is working out now. All of that came from the bowels of the Pilgrim Society. So when you want to understand the world's and the global response to Israel, Palestine, what we hear coming from Trump and so on, understand the Pilgrim Society is behind it. And has been from day one. So we have the Rockefellers. Well, do I have to say more? The Rockefellers, all of them to this day, because the Rockefellers are still alive and kicking, a lot of them. The Rockefellers, there's something interesting about them. The women they marry do not necessarily carry the surname Rockefeller. So you have to go look up all of them to see who they marry, which family they married into, and where are they now. Because they're very much involved in everything. And so we have various members of the British royal family as part of the Pilgrim Society over time. So, as I said before, they hold these exclusive dinners and these events, and sometimes we see some of the major figures there from each country, from presidents to British prime ministers to CEOs of major corporations, including, and seriously including, you will not see them lobbying, and you won't see a lot of published reports, because these people meet secretly, and when they get together, they discuss them own little thing and the bigger things, and they call it soft power, but they really shape policy through these personal influences that they have across the board, driven by the media, because all of the top media are sitting at the table of the Pilgrim Society. And remember, the media, the global media, is owned by at least, but not more than 5 people. So the entire media network that you're getting your news from. For example, you watch CNN and you say you don't watch Fox. You watch Fox and you don't watch CNN. But if you go to BlackRock and look at the ownership and the investors of these 2 global media outlets, you'll realize that the same people are at Fox, and in terms of investors and in terms of ownership and in terms of power and influence. So they play both sides. It's like politics in Jamaica, where the private sector organization, not the organization, but the private sector contributes election campaign money to both sides. On any day, any election campaign period, the private sector gives money, millions and millions and millions of dollars, to both the JLP and the PNP. They do that so that whoever win, them good still. So the Pilgrim Society is still very active today, right? It operates quietly. It is not something that we hear a lot about. Them still have a chapter in London, them still have a chapter in New York, and they still meet. Oops. That's been happening all morning, and I'm not quite sure why. It would suggest that it's my headphone, I think, but I'm not quite sure why. So let's get this properly working. Anyway, foreign relations, by the way. They're also connected to Chatham House, which is the Royal Institute of International Affairs. And they're still very, very active. So, who's the president now? You know, that is something we need to go check. Who's the president now? Who's the chairman now? We need to check that. Who are some of the members now? Can we find that information? And then to look at the influence that they've got on policy, on defense and intelligence, because that is going haywire also, it seems, around us. Economic policy. There's a global reset right now of economic policy, a global economic reset. Donald Trump says he's resetting the table, and he says it many times. Also, we hear from Keir Starmer. Listen how they're dancing in unison. Every time he takes a podium, he says that globalization as we know, it's over. He says it's a global reset. He says it's a reset of the global economic order. Donald Trump says we are resetting the table. Listen to the words they're using. Listen to how they're talking. It might appear as if they're at odds with each other. They're not. These people are working together. They're saying many things in many places. They're here and everywhere all at once. But all of it is going to lead to one thing, and hopefully I can come back to that. Look at diplomacy. Look at how that is happening across the world. So this is a very significant society, and they are leading things from behind. The Heritage Foundation, the Lincoln Center, the Bohemian Grove, and look at Bohemian Grove too. I think a lot of us know about that, right? So Bohemian Grove is very interesting, by the way. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But just to say that, you know, as we begin, or as we seek answers, as we strive for answers, as we try to find a place to catch our hat, a place to understand what's happening around us, I think we need a wider understanding also of how this whole global order is set up and the changes over time. The more things change, the more they remain the same. The very same people are in control. They redefine themselves, rename themselves. Sometimes they don't even rename themselves. Sometimes they keep the same names from 1902, 1901, and are still directing things from behind, so that the program is always running in the background. And here's the thing. They want you to look elsewhere. So the entire world is talking about tariffs. I put it to you that it's not about the tariffs. The program is running in the background. Everybody's up in arms about the tariffs. Whether it was Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, it was going to be what it is today. Maybe different parts, but the very same outcome. So, and what is the outcome? I'll find another few minutes in the program to go and reiterate what I think the outcome is set up to be, because this is all a plan.
The time is brought to you by JMB Money Transfer. Use JMB Money Transfer prepaid Visa card and enter to win your share of a $2 million grand prize in the Win with Love promotion ending June 30, 2025. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for more details.
Time is 3 minutes after 7 o'clock. You're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. And what an interesting time we're living in. We're bearing witness to everything that's happening around us. And boy, what a time, what a time. Going to go on to the phone lines now to speak to my next very special guest, my sister Mojiba Ashe. Mojiba, how are you doing, my sister?
Greetings, joyous greetings, my beloved.
Greetings.
How are you?
I am well, if you too are well. Count us a pick name.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
My sister, you know we have to do this because even though we've spoken more than once on the phone,
Yes.
but we do have to say our deepest condolences once again to the passing of our beloved sister. She is your biological sister, Omaliwa.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I know
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
Still processing.
Yeah, I know. So to the family, our deepest condolences.
Thank you so very much.
This is Mojiba Ashe, and Mojiba has been, over the years, we know that you're a creative person. We know that you've been involved in the creative industries for a very, very long time. Highly spiritual also for those who follow you in the social media spaces, and so that what you have, what you are emerging into, and branching out to, I think it's only natural that you're going in this direction.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things, and let's talk about that. A little bit about you, though. You're founder of Mojiba Culture and WACK movement.
Yes.
You are a spiritual motivator and president of the Amy Jakes Garvey Community Center. Mojiba is also a Garveyite and therapist. She's a mental health advocate. Listen to that closely. She's a spoken word artist, an actress, a writer, activist, fashion designer, model, and daughter of Rastafari leader Count Ozzy. That's why we call her Count Ozzy Picnic. So we know you as all of these things, but what you've gone into now really resonates with me.
Yes.
Because this is the psychodynamic therapy, and you're looking at the impact of abuse and trauma on mental health.
Yes.
Tell us how did you come to this place?
What a great question, foremost.
Yes.
That's such a wonderful question.
Yes.
Well, foremost, you get up and you have that aha moment, like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to focus on for the rest of my breath. Mm-hmm. This is it. Mm-hmm. Based on my personal experiences with trauma and abuse, along with, I was having a very personal conversation with a teenager. And that is what I think really, really just hit me hard. Like, no, this is very deep. Mm-hmm. You're talking about someone who, from they were the age of like 6, right? Between, say, 0 to 6 years of age, they were constantly being molested, sexually molested, and never spoke about it until they spoke to me about it. Yes. And I was like, oh my goodness, can you imagine how many other children and people who hold these experiences inside of themselves out of fear, shame, guilt, or thinking it's just the norm? Mm-hmm. Because when I said to her, what, you didn't see that something was wrong? She said she thought it was something that men did to little girls. Mm-hmm. She thought it was normal. Mm-hmm. So she didn't say anything, but being around me and, hearing me teach other children about abuse and, violence and rape, it made her realize, like, oh my God, she was literally violated sexually, you understand? Mm-hmm. So it really stuck at my heart, and I thought, something, I don't want to stay silent about this situation anymore. It's not just about me now, it's about other innocent youths, the children that are coming up, that are suffering. Yes. And I thought, something, they say that when you learn a thing, you need to teach it. It's a responsibility as a woman.
Mm-hmm. And I like that about you too, that, and this would have been in the space for a very long time, I know, but you're kind of bringing it back to the fore. You say womb man.
Yes.
And this is deliberate. Tell me why.
Well, we have to remember where we're from, or origin. Womb. Mm-hmm. There is no man without the womb. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Within us. Yeah. Within us, that's our life. That's our portal as woman, right? Mm-hmm. So hence why I put in the B. Yes. Because I think these men also need to remember where they're coming from.
I agree. It makes a lot of sense, actually. This reminder is very timely. And,
yes.
And so that now, the teenager, the adolescents will do this to you every time when they speak of pain and trauma, that know that you have to do something. Once you've heard it, you have
it's a responsibility. Because I thought, no way, there's no way people always opening up to me about these types of stories for the sake of me just listening to it. And I thought, okay, I've written a book. I have a book, Memoir of Abuse, with some of my personal experiences, being raped, going through incest, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, the trauma of losing my parents at a young age, So I myself have a whole list of traumatic experiences that I've endured. And I thought, okay, not everyone is like me, who was able to do the inner work, and to put, start that healing process, or even recognize something was terribly wrong that needs to be repaired. So I thought, you know what? If I am to commit to this task, people will probably really sit and really take a look into themselves and realize, oh my gosh, she has gone through this, but is she still damaged? And they will realize, no, she's not. She's in love with herself. She has not owned these traumatic experiences. She has not, taken on.
How did you get to this place where you are now in terms of the healing? Because this had to be a process.
So challenging. I must be honest. It's been a challenge, but something, you see, once you decide, because that is the word, decision is what makes all the difference in our lives, or choices. But once you decide that you do not like how you are or how you are feeling, and you have a choice in it, that is when it dawns on me, oh my gosh, I don't have to be depressed all of my life. I don't have to battle with suicidal thoughts all of my life. I actually can rise above these things. And when you read and you do research and you see what other people have gone through and how them rise above it, I thought, oh, well then I can do it too then.
Yes. And as we listen to you, I know it had to be a process, and I hear you talking through that. So for those who are listening, who've gone through that, it is not that you're saying that this is something that's easy, but this is a process, and this is, I think, takes us to what you're developing now and how you're treating and talking to young people. So talk to us about that therapy that you psychodynamic therapy, which you've now how you're using this and with whom and in what spaces.
All right. Well, foremost, I have a very, very strong relationship with the youth in the Jakes Road community, and they've been such a great inspiration to me. Hence, those books I had sent you once, they were the ones, the activity children book, the KABU,
of course,
they inspired that. And in my experience with these children, recognizing how abused they are, and they not even knowing that they're abused, was shocking to me. And I realized that we have come together in such a time where sometimes I wonder, why me? Until now I'm saying, why not me? And the openness of our relationship has caused me to really and truly find myself comforting these children. And I thought, wow, this is what people need. They need to be comforted. They need comfort. They need to feel safe to be able, foremost, to even open up to you about what's happening, because at first they were not open. I remember the first time I brought up the topic of abuse, and I'm like, anyone in here being abused? Nobody put up their hand. Then I had to break it down. Is anyone being beaten? Is anyone being, told negative things about themselves? Are you being touched in any inappropriate way? And I had to break it down. So clearly they did not resonate with the word abuse. And that is the thing.
Interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting, because people hear this word and think abuse just means a man beat up a woman, domestic abuse. Them don't understand. So there are so many different types of abuse. People will abuse you through even money. Society abuses every single day.
Of course.
To what extent
is there a normalization to of abuse, especially when you see what's happening in the social media spaces, or Jamaican people in that space, especially the TikTok space, the young people too.
Oh God, the children are raped. People are being raped via social media, because guess you what? The children know they have not named innocence. everything just brawling and out there, and there's we don't live in a child-friendly world, Sister KABU.
No, we don't.
Who is protecting the children's minds? Who is? And then they curse us to the children, them bad and them rude and they're out of order and they're nana manners, because the children are being fed adult things round the clock.
You know, I see a discussion that's ongoing in the United Kingdom, which I am following very, very closely. I like what I hear, because they're saying now they're going to be pulling mobile phones, smartphones out of schools, taking the phones out of the schools, taking the phones out of the hands of the children, at least during school hours. I don't know if it is too late for those who, that whole cohort, but they're young people. Because once you say to young people or to parents that they need a phone for A, B, C, and D, and these are smartphones, there's no way you can control that. But they are finding out now that the young girls especially, and they did this massive YouGov survey it was released just a few days ago, pointing to the fact that young girls in Britain across the board, preteens and teens, are suicidal. Everything you laid out just now, that mental health is critical, and they're pinpointing the mobile phone as being integral to that whole thing.
Mr. KABU. Oh yes, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. We hand over these things to our children, not realizing what we're handing to them. My daughter, I remember at 7 when I got her a phone and it wasn't working fast enough and she broke it. She was so annoyed because it wasn't working fast enough. And that was my first and last time that I ever bought my teenage daughter a phone. And any devices that she have is not from me. And I tell her all the time, if you're going to live on your device and if you're going to use it, make sure you're educating yourself about what's happening in the world. You know, discover more about yourself, your Africanness, your history. Use it wisely.
Yes.
Don't just use it for the sake of following up on all the the mixed up, the horrific things you see every day being reported, because it affects you.
You know, this is we're going into a time now of government by algorithm, you know. So the algorithms are finding our children, not just our children, they're finding us. I have to be arguing with the digital technologies, literally, to say why do I keep getting? I have no interest in these things you're pushing at me. Let me take a quick break. I'll come back.
Sure.
We're talking about psychodynamic therapy, the impact of abuse and trauma on mental health, and I know, Mojiba, that you have been collecting the data even while it's action learning for you, even while you're trying to do the best that you can to assist young people. To what extent would you say mental health and issues relating to mental health, how prevalent is this among young people from your own work?
Oh, wow. It's shocking almost that it has gotten out of control. I don't know how it reached to this stage, because I know that there are ones who are actually in this kind of field. And I'm wondering to myself, what have they been doing to edify, young people? Why isn't abuse and trauma a subject? I can't relate in terms of the educational system. Why isn't this a priority? Or maybe I shouldn't ask why. I probably know why. Because it is not everyone that wants the people to know the truth about life and about how they can live a more wholesome life. Sometimes you may think, why wouldn't people want people to find out the truth about who they really are, their power, their strengths, and to discover who their true essence. But there are people out there who is competing for this struggle, for this power control, this one world order, this control. Control is one of the biggest abuse in this world. Everybody wants to control.
To what extent would you say?
Over people's minds, their homes, what they eat, what they drink. It's beyond me. And I'm thinking, how did humanity give up their power like this?
To what extent would you say that there's also, as you say, that there's an attempt to muzzle people or to hide the truth, to keep this on the wraps? To what extent would you say there's also within, say, the school system, for example, because I hear you go there a lot, the education system.
Yes, I have to go there a lot.
where the schools themselves are also part of this cover-up because the schools don't want to look bad. And so wouldn't the Ministry of Education know what's happening within the schools?
Oh, they should know.
Why
they
is
should
this
know,
such a
but
secret?
the thing is, what are they doing about it? They should know. Why isn't it that I don't understand? Marcus Garvey, our first national hero, why isn't there a billboard every parish, every corner you turn with some positive motivational words and some of Marcus Garvey's words all over Jamaica? In the school then, I don't understand. I cannot get it. It's frightening to me. And I'm thinking, what do they teach these children in schools about what abuse is? What are the signs? How to handle it? You know, because that's the problem. Children are trapped.
I think that's a very good
They're
point you
being
raised,
threatened.
you know.
Yes. Do they teach them?
Yeah.
Do they have somebody coming in every single month, every other week, every week, perhaps once as strong, to come and speak to the children about the importance of this, how they're to be treated, what is unacceptable treatment, what is, you get me? Some of these children do not know. They grow thinking it's normal for people to bully them, to hit them, to beat them, to push them into the wall,
to rape them, to incest them.
Rape them.
You know,
they think it's normal.
Yeah.
And I am convinced that 90% of any person in Jamaica, across the board, because it's not just women, have been sexually abused.
Wow.
We live in a very sexually abusive country.
I hear, and you're making a very, very good point, and I hear from teachers in particular how pervasive this is. They're seeing this across the education system in Jamaica, where so many of young girls and boys, and specifically young girls, are living in homes where they are being abused by a relative, sexually abused by a relative.
Always a relative.
Or in communities where they are being raped. And then even when they get to school, that's a whole other abusive situation where young boys are raping young girls and young boys are raping young boys. But these are not necessarily being aired out.
Precisely. They push it under the rug a lot because KABU, consistency is very important when dealing with children.
Yes.
You have to be consistent. You can't just get up one day, every 10 years, and talk about you doing an abuse campaign. It has to be consistent. You have to big it up. You have to bring it out of the closet.
My sister, what they're doing, they're waiting for the funding. They don't do anything until they get US aid or something like that.
I don't get paid for what I do at the community center. It's social work. I don't get no funding to do any of what I've been doing. So that's not an excuse. Money is not an excuse. We have social media, we have radio, we have television, which I haven't watched in over 20 years. But I'm saying we have the newspaper, we have media. That's not an excuse.
You know, I have... I don't know. I've been in media for a very long time, and whenever we take up issues relating to mental health or sexual abuse, rape, incest, vicious sexual abuses across the country, we have never had, no matter how we reach out to the system, to the society, to the authorities, to the power that be, we have never had any support. And I can tell you this because I have been leading, you know that I've been leading this for years.
Oh, yes.
We have never had any support from a government structure, whether it is PNP or JLP. So there has to be a wider plan. And this tells me, though, that the fact that this is so prevalent in the schools in Jamaica, and it is allowed to continue year in, year out, it tells me that there has to be something strategic about this thing. This is basically what I'm saying.
Precisely.
This is all you want?
That's exactly it. Yes.
So, my sister, because we're running out of time, I'm going to invite you in the studio so you can take calls another time. But I want to ask you about the therapy and how you help young people, and how can you talk to those who are listening, both those who would want to help and those who are going through some form of abuse.
All right. Foremost, you have to know that abuse happens to anyone. Don't feel special. It happens to any and anyone, and don't take it on to mean that you are bad or you're less than. Okay? It's not something for you to be ashamed of. It's not your act against yourself, although we do have self-abuse. But when somebody violates you inappropriately, verbally, physically, sexually, mentally, it's not your fault. Don't own it and claim that it's your fault. You have to seek help because there is nobody that can live your life for you. You have to take that step. You have to find that love within yourself. You have to learn to love and appreciate yourself because guess what? How you feel about yourself is how people are going to treat you. So you owe it to yourself to find that, that self-love, because that is what's going to be your shelter throughout any storm, loving you, right? So if you're in a situation where you're being abused in any way, please, you can reach out to me. I'm on social media. I have an Instagram page, Majiba Culture, right? I'm on Instagram again as Count as a Pitney. I'm on Facebook as Olashi Ashanti Majiba. Reach out, right? They have phone lines too. In Jamaica, I don't know how effective they are. I've never heard anyone telling me they have used it, right? Because I've had to stop a child from committing suicide.
Myself too. And this is the thing is, try calling them. Try calling those numbers, and you'll get a very good idea of how this thing is not working.
It can't work. It cannot work. And if it is one pitney or one person, I can be able to say, listen, this is not. You don't own this abuse. You can rise above it. People are sick in their heads. People are mentally gone. Literally, they're not even acting outside of them real self because them don't know them real self.
Yes.
And people abuse other people, and it's a cycle that needs to be broken.
Yes.
Why are people abusing other people? Because they themselves have been abused. So when do we break the cycle? Where's the breaking point? And the breaking points begin with people who start to talk up about these things and stop. You have to expose it.
It's an epidemic, and
it's major.
The way we dealt with COVID, COVID was nothing in terms of
mental health. Remember, all is mind.
Yes,
all is mind in a sister KABU. So if you don't have your mind, what do you have? You're a walking zombie. If you don't have your mental state, it's not clear. What do you have? What are you giving to life?
And some of this happened to our children and women also going through this abuse, doing this 2 years of lockup, coming outside of COVID. We're talking about the COVID generation, those children who came of age in the 2 years that we were locked down. I would like to see the studies on them, because what I'm hearing from teachers, and a lot of teachers are calling them the COVID children, they are highly sexualized. They are on a totally different plane.
Listen,
so what happened?
A lot of these children are addicted to porn.
Goodness.
I know this for a fact from talking to children. And them telling me things, because I have such a good relationship with these children. They even ask me, when did you lose your virginity? I speak very openly with them.
Yes.
And they feel comfortable with me. And that is the key. You have to have them feel comfortable with you. And you can't break their trust, So I don't call names,
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
But you have to let them, they have to go to somebody who they can feel safe to talk to. But they're addicted to porn. And why they're addicted to porn, a lot of them is older children that they see doing it, and then they become curious.
And it is, readily available on these smartphones.
Oh, absolutely. And the music.
And the music. We cannot speak enough about the music.
Oh my gosh.
I won't even talk about anything, Let me just
Trust
something.
me, I'm telling you. But people out there, I am here. Let me tell you something. There is power in numbers. Anyone listening who wants to join with me, I am here. I will need your support. No man is an island, right? And it's not money going to do this thing. It's building awareness, being consistent with it, right? I would love to go deep into the schools. And if not into the schools, if they won't receive me into the schools, within communities, using social media, using every medium I can possibly get to really and truly talk openly. We should be having public discussions, seminars, conferences about this.
Safe spaces.
Yes.
My sister,
mental health is Jamaica's biggest issue.
We're totally out of time. How do we find you?
I know.
Once again, tell me.
In this timeless world, we're out of time.
I'm telling you, it's an illusion.
My beloved sister.
Once again, it's Mojiba, Mojiba.
One and only.
And
Thank you,
if you type that in on Facebook, we'll find you. Mojiba.
Yes, trust me, you'll find me.
Yeah, Mojiba. Mojiba.
And Mojiba Culture.
And Mojiba.
On Facebook as well.
And culture is spelled with a K. KULCHA. Mojiba, MOJIBA. Sorry, CHA.
With an H at the end.
Yeah.
Culture.
KULCHA. Is on all of the social media spaces. Her name is spelled MOJIBA. And culture, KULCHA. Mojiba Culture. So try with Facebook, on Instagram. She's also Mojiba Ashe. So MOJIBA and then capital AASE. So Mojiba Ashe. MOJIBA. Thank you so much, my sister. So many texts coming in, on the backside of our conversation just now, and I'll try and go through some of them before the morning is out. As we go back to the phone lines now to speak to my next very, very special guest, I'm honored to welcome to the space my friend and my brother, right? Kwame McPherson. We know him as the Commonwealth Short Story Prize winner 2023. But Kwame's been in the studio. He's no stranger. He's the co-author of the Amazon bestseller, the book Heart of a Black Man. He's a ghostwriter, content creator, editor, proofreader, and book mentor and strategist. And a Heinemann Book Publishers Short Story Competition runner-up for the short story synopsis, Anna Surpass and Get Him Gone, and so much more. But we do know he also authored the books Deep Roots, Strong Tree, and Yard Vibes. I have to read out all of the books, Kwame, because I hold up a book, and then we know you, especially from the upcoming movie. Tell us about the upcoming movie before we go any further. I can't. Well, by the way, I can't talk about the movie. I should talk about.
We're still in the process. Where we reach right now is seeking potential partners. So that's what it is. So it's still happening.
Yes.
So it has its own momentum and it's moving towards where we want it to be. So yeah, man. So in the works same way. It's in the works same way.
Okay, so listen, I'm so you would think of my movie, because I'm all over this movie, because I know it's going to be brilliant. And it's a it's from your short, it's from the prize, from the Short Story Prize 2023, right?
That's correct, yeah.
That's a new turn. You were in the studio talking about it. You read part of it a few months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it available?
It's a Commonwealth Foundation. They do have an anthology, which is free actually, but all people need to do is contact the Commonwealth Foundation in the UK, and they would literally deliver to you. So it's a free booklet, for a free book that they each year for all the shortlisted awardees. They put an anthology together. So it is in the 2023 anthology that they did.
Okay, so people just need to reach out to the Commonwealth Prize
Foundation.
Foundation.
Yeah.
And then ask for you're asking for 2023 anthology.
That's right, anthology. That's correct. Right, and they will send it out. They'll send it out. It's free.
Okay, brilliant. And I suppose it should be online too, don't it? If it's
it is. Well, the story itself is free. It's online. It's on the www.granta, granta.com/Okohee, OCOEE. So the story can be read online, and that's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the book, if anyone wants a book, they can contact the Commonwealth Foundation.
Yeah. And I'd just like to say again
I have a copy for you, actually. Come to think of it, I have a copy for you,
You have a copy for me?
I have a copy of the book.
Yes, please. Please to get it to me, and let us not argue about this anymore. But let me just say to our listeners, if you haven't read Okohee, please go and read it. It's a brilliant story about ourselves. But when you're reading it, you forget to say Kwame write it because you see, Kwame, so you read it now like it's not Kwame write it. But it's really brilliant. It is one of the best that I've read. Really, really brilliant. And I'm very happy that the plans are in place for this to be turned into a movie. So I can't wait for that. But there are other big things happening, Kwame, that I want to talk about because you're heading to the Middle East.
Yes, I am. Abu Dhabi International Book Fair. I've been invited to speak on behalf of the Caribbean. Yeah, on behalf of the Caribbean. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'm there. So that's happening next week. Yeah, next week. Next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, next week.
So tell us about that. Tell us about the book fair and also about your invitation and what you're going to be doing there.
Well, it is apparently one of the biggest book fairs it's an international one. It has thousands and thousands of people that actually come and attend, and it has a variety of workshops. So I think I'm going to be, and their invite was basically saying, the storyteller from the Caribbean, they're impressed with my work, and they invited me over to represent storytelling from the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And so it's I'm looking forward because it's obviously, as you know, our storytelling is rich anyway.
Yes.
And being able to impart on an audience that probably had never heard about the Caribbean, much like Jamaica.
Yes.
That I'm really looking forward to, and it's an honor to be doing that on behalf of Jamaica and the Caribbean. So, so in a nutshell, in an overview, that's what it is. It's an international book fair with thousands of people who come from all over the world to partake and to listen to buy books and that kind of thing. And yeah, we're going to see what happens with it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm first. I don't know if I'm the first to do it, but who knows?
No, we missed what you said there. Say that again, Kwame.
No, I said I don't know if I'm the first from the Caribbean to have this kind of platform talking about storytelling, but interesting to find out
at the book fair. Yes, I don't know either, but I definitely know you're the first one I know of for that. So and I think it's really a big deal. We talked when you were here before, and also on the phone before this, about your own journey to where you are now, because you even as a winner of the Commonwealth Short Story Prize for 2023, this was what your how many submissions? Was it the third or fourth?
Ninth submission.
Ninth. I'm saying that just for the just for the creatives among us who are listening, just saying how can I be a Kwame, because obviously you are a trendsetter, you're a leader, you are a motivator for so many writers in this space. All right, so I know you didn't lay out for us what you're going to be doing in Abu Dhabi, but can you lay that out? What is required of you?
But what's required is that, like I said, I have to be there for the first day because they insist that I must be there for the first day. So I'm suspecting, they said they're going to order and everything else. So I'm suspecting that they're going to have something planned for me to see. But I'm going to have a platform to talk about, like I said, storytelling in Jamaica. It's a lot of networking, of course. But I'm still waiting on the itinerary. But I've been told I have to get it for the 26th. So
as you talk about that, because storytelling in Jamaica, I don't want you to talk. You're not necessarily going to tell us everything you're going to talk about there, but what's the status as far as you see and experience on this island and comparatively speaking with relating to storytelling in Jamaica? How do we compare to other nations who are involved in these spaces?
We have phenomenal storytellers. First off, we have phenomenal storytellers. I think in my experiences of going around and talking and interacting in various spaces, we have some phenomenal writers. And that's beautiful. And as you've seen, like with the Marlon James and the Kai Millers, our work is now being featured in terms of, the mainstream TV or mainstream broadcasters like Netflix and so on and so forth. So that's a great step in terms of, and it goes to show the interest in terms of our storytelling. What I saw, and I think you and I have touched on this before, is the lack of access or pathway for writers, and it's a really something that really nags at me, the fact that we have participant spaces, which I'm not gonna mention, which does not allow for those who aren't known. It doesn't allow for a platform for people to share their work.
Hold that point. Hold that point, Kwame. Take that break, because let me take this break because I think this is critical for us to address.
Safe, reliable, great value. Always buy from an authorized IGL dealer. The time by IGL is
now 7:48. Kwame McPherson, author, on the phone lines. Commonwealth Short Story Prize 2023 winner is heading off to Dubai, a special invitation to the International Book Fair to represent Jamaica and the Caribbean. But at the same time, looking back to go forward, the situation in Jamaica in terms of getting your work published, getting recognized as a writer, you're saying there are many challenges there.
Yeah, because one thing I've realized, I remember, I didn't go to UA, for example, as an institution to get a writing degree and all that kind of stuff. My writing is based on, the creativity and the blessed creativity that I have on my talent.
Yes.
So I didn't go through that path. What I've realized is that for a lot of people, for a lot of spaces, if you haven't got a degree in writing, you're not recognized as a writer. And then on top of that, if you don't have a published work by a quote unquote mainstream publisher, you don't get into those spaces, or you don't get recognized or seen.
Yeah.
So that's one of the challenges that I've seen in terms of being here on the ground.
And you're very right about this. There is a kind of a disdain and a kind of an elitist mentality among in certain areas of Jamaica that it would seem control these spaces of publishing, of writing. Of giving validity or credibility to a work. So if it doesn't go through the University of the West Indies, for example, then it's hardly considered valid. This is ridiculous in this day and age, though.
It is, and it got me. Like I said, I'm not going to call it a name, but it got me when I was told that, bearing in mind that I'm the first Jamaican to win the Commonwealth Short Story Prize globally, that I can't be featured at a particular event because I didn't have to work. Yeah, man, Yeah, man, I'm talking about off here. But yeah, man, when I was told that, I said, you couldn't make an exception for the fact that I'm the first Jamaican to win this. And then I was told, no, you have to have a published work, even though I do have, maybe say published books, I do have works that are coming. But the story itself is an award-winning story globally. So you'd have thought that you'd want to have it featured in this particular space, but no.
No, I am flabbergasted. I didn't know that happened. Wow.
And I didn't realize. So and I go back to my point about this. So if someone's a young writer, I mean, a good writer, they probably, I don't know, may win JCBC, for example, and up and coming, but there's no space for them for their work to be heard in terms of an international platform. Almost like something. You have young artists coming in and, they get a platform to write, to sing.
Yes.
You'd have thought that for an international platform that this could also be for young writers that are coming up, but no, it's shut off from them. So anyway, so I just go on and do what I need to do, and I'm international, and our writing is international.
Yes,
and know that there's an international audience for what we do here. I recognize that, and that's how I do what I do, and I don't let it bother me, but I can understand somebody who's here who doesn't have that wherewithal.
But
and
there's also another level because people talk about publication, but if you self-publish, you're also looked at with disdain, like how dare you think you are in this category?
Exactly.
You self-publisher, as if to say self-publisher is a bad word.
Exactly. But that goes to show, like I said, in terms of the barriers that someone may face.
Yes. Let me say to you, Kwame, thank you so much, because you have shed light on Jamaica in a way that I think it inspires all of us. And this next step, which is heading into the Middle East to represent not just Jamaica, but Jamaica and the Caribbean, the voice of Jamaica and the Caribbean, I think that is a massive, massive deal. So congratulations on behalf of all of us. Take our names with you, write with name and carry it with you.
And I got to give a shout out. There's a lot of people listening now, especially in UK. Good morning to my sister should be listening, and a lot of people should be listening. So shout out to their love and support, So,
yes.
But no, and thank you, Sister KABU. That's my intention, is to elevate this talent that I have, and I know other people to come from.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So hopefully, how long are you staying will you be staying in
a week and a half. And then I'm back and I'm off to Ghana because I'm also ghostwriting a book, which is something you'd probably be interested in, actually.
Oh.
I'm ghostwriting a book about mentoring young girls in Ghana for a client in the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that. So hopefully we can link with you along the way, whether it's in the Middle East, is where you're going in Abu Dhabi, whether it's in Abu Dhabi or in Ghana or both. We obviously want to make that link with you while you are there. So please keep in touch.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah. I will link you, man. I will link you. Definitely link you. Because like I said, I'm looking forward to doing that, so I'll share that with you.
Yes, please. And once again, everybody go read Okoye. Remember, me tell you, if you love storytelling, if you want to situate yourself in a story, then this is it. Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. Safe travels as you head to Abu Dhabi, and congratulations from all of us here at Area FM. Big things.
Bless my sister. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So that's Kwame McPherson, Commonwealth Short Story Prize 2023 winner. He's an author, and as you hear that just now, a storyteller. To estimate the extent of how abuse of children in Jamaica is resulting in a mental health crisis, that we have an epidemic on our hands. There is a situation now where we see this playing out on the roads. Who you think driving the cars? Who you think behind those steerings? Who you think have them foot panda gas day? There's also a situation of crime and violence among the very young. Youth are taking $5,000 to kill their neighbors and their friends. The kind of abuse in Jamaica is beyond the pale, and we are twiddling our thumbs like Nero while Rome burns. This is where we are as a nation, as beautiful as this place is, with the hills and the valleys and the mountains and the blue seas and the rivers that meander through. As beautiful as this place is, there is this thing that used to be an underbelly that has now become the main event, which is crime and violence and carnage on the roads. And in Parliament, you see how they curse and shout and curse at each other. They don't, when they get up, I know they say they're parroting what happens in the UK Parliament, but look at their faces. Look at the anger. Look at what they are coming at each other with. So that is there. And then when they're on the platform, why them have to talk so violently vicious? And then we see the same thing overtaking the church. I see some people on the social media say them preaching at church, and it is the most violent language, it's the most vicious kind of language that you've heard in your life. And if you walk into some of these spaces, why do we have to be so angry to speak the word of the Lord? Thus saith the Lord. Why? A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Why? Why the shouting and the bawling out of the throat hole? I mean, why we so angry with each other? We pass each other on the road, and we might even be related, but we're cussing at each other. We're flashing off each other. We're giving each other the finger. And next thing we meet up at the gas station, and me and your cousin. This is what we have become. And the thing is not just what we have become, but what are we becoming as a nation? So quite a few messages coming in. Read the interview. Inspiring message. This one says, and I probably need to go to other spaces. But yes, we will have another discussion with our sister Mujiba, and we'll invite her to come in. Teachers are writing left, right, and center. Teachers who are listening are communicating with me now, left, right, and center. And it's bringing tears to my eyes because they're telling the stories of these students who they know are being abused, boys and girls, And they're telling the stories of sexual abuse more than anything else. And also of sexual debauchery on the school compounds and outside of school. This is not a joke business. This is worse than COVID. What are we going to tell our children about their future? All right, time on IRFM now, 8 o'clock, and my next very special guest is in the studio. Although we're having, I cannot figure out what's causing the feedback. It is because I'm wearing a cap with a peak turned backwards. So every time I get near the mic, the headphone don't sit down good for my head. And so that's what's causing feedback. I'm not take off a hat. Anyway, so my next very special guest in studio is no stranger to the program, and we're very happy to welcome him back to the studios of IRFM. Retired university lecturer, conceptualizer of a St. Mary Literary Festival. And I think he's a lecturer in physics, so you know that we're bound on that level of physics. Paul Ward joins me live in studio now. Paul, it's so good to have you back in studio.
Yeah, good morning, KABU. Thanks for having me back. And by the way, it's engineering rather than
it's
physics.
Engineering.
There we go.
It's engineering. I don't know why I thought it was physics.
Well, related.
Yeah. All right. So, Paul, once again, the St. Mary Literary Festival is back on the calendar. The inaugural was last year. Let us look back to go forward. Just look back quickly at last year. How was it?
Yeah, I think it went very well. We had 50 submissions of writing. About 40 people presented. A few people couldn't make it. But we could have we had 150 plus audience in Port Maria.
It was very good, actually, yes.
Yeah, no, so it went very well, and the reason we're doing it this year, the intention was every 2 years, but so many people have been asking me, can't we do it again this year? So
yes.
Here we are again this year.
So here we are again. So this year, just let us start with dates and time and where before we go into how do you get involved.
This time it's in July, on a Saturday the 5th of July. In Port Maria, once again, it's the St. Mary Festival, and it's at the Anglican Church Hall, just opposite the Town Hall. As we keep on saying, a lovely setting looking out across the seaside. And in fact, the picture, hope we get a chance to talk about it briefly this morning, the booklet of the writings from last year. Anya Glowden from the Little Theatre designed the cover. And the picture of that is more or less what you see from the venue, looking out across the sea to Cabarita Island. So Saturday the 5th of July in Port Maria.
All right.
10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We
so 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Try and do the timing so people can travel from Kingston and so on and get back.
Yeah, and I think that worked out well enough last year, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we could have done with more time. In fact, this year we'll have to cut down on the number of presentations, I think, because, it did get squeezed up a bit. So
right. So that you're thinking of a change in format,
no,
or just a number of...
The number of writers.
Activities.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the intention was to give aspiring writers... And we had a real mixture of including Kwame, you just had on.
Yes.
And I must actually say before I forget, thank you, Kwame, for all your support. Every time I send out an email message, he's just about the first one to respond. And
Paul,
he has
that Paul is inside here throwing words, because I do not respond to the emails. But Paul, you do know that I'm seeing the emails, right?
And also, he was the first person. There's 4 or 5 people who've submitted already, and he was the very first.
Yes.
So thank you, Kwame.
Thank you so much, Kwame. And when you respond, just say also responding on behalf of KABU. Thank you so much for that. All right. But brilliant, though. And let me say congratulations to you, Paul, because that was a well-executed program last year. And to be coming at this again this year and to be leading this process, I think this is commendable. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Well, I got so much support, including from you. I mean, those who don't know, KABU was one of the 3 MCs at the event. And, of course, she rose to the occasion very well.
Thank you so much.
But I've had a lot of support. And Casey Garby from Jaku is very much with me this time.
Yes.
So,
and what we're looking at this year, talk us through that. What are you expecting to happen this year, and how do people get involved?
The submission date we've got down for the 16th of May. As I hear from JCDC as well, everybody leaves it to the last minute. Last year, we had about 20 or 30 submissions up to the original submission day. In the week after, everybody piled in.
Yes.
So we finished up with plenty, so I'm not too worried. So we have 5 or 6 so far. So it should be, I would think, a similar format to last year, although we'll see what happens when the submissions come in. Mm-hmm. One thing I had originally asked is that people try and do something, it's either poetry or prose, with a kind of social justice theme. But in fact, when I looked through last year's writing, it was a perfect mixture. Many quite angry about things going on, other people presenting a pretty picture of what we would like life to be. Yes. So it was a really interesting combination, and if we get the same combination again this year, I'll be very happy.
And the youth, I know one of the things you wanted last year was also to get the schools involved. And I must say that there was a pretty good school turnout and even presentation. And those young girls and boys, I mean, they were brilliant.
They were. 13 out of the 50 yes. were school students. Mm-hmm. One from Kingston. The other 12 from St. Mary. Some of the St. Mary ones, the ones from St. Mary Technical High over in Richmond, couldn't make it. But the others were brilliant, as you said, when they read. Yes. And look forward to getting some submissions from them again.
Right. All right. So what's the process now? How do we get it?
Well, it's simple enough. Just either email me or send it to WhatsApp, whatever you have, and please do it in Word this time. Some people sent me a PDF, and when I try and rejiggle it, sometimes it's hard. Mm-hmm. So either to my WhatsApp number, 1-876-542-7600, or to email address stmarylf@yahoo. That's just stmarylf@yahoo, stmarylf@yahoo.
And that LF stands for the Literary St. Mary Literary
right.
Festival. So
Thank
St. Mary LF at
right.
Yahoo.
That's right.
And repeat the number.
Right, the number 876-542-7600.
All right, so who's qualified to submit?
Anybody, and that was the whole intention of the original one. Mm-hmm. So we had, the blurb on the back of the book, as I say, not just the range of writings, mm-hmm. but the range of writers, from Kwame, from Mervyn Morris, and then we had the school students and a whole heap of people in between. And my, engineering background, I wouldn't dare to particularly judge the writings. Mm-hmm. In fact, I didn't say no to anybody last year because they were all quite fascinating and powerful.
Yes,
so open to everybody.
Right, so no age limit.
No.
You write your poem. Are we looking at are there any restrictions regarding, or let's just not say restrictions, but any rules, regulations?
Yeah. We want it something that can be read in 5 minutes at the most. And when I checked it out, it's like 700 words. So it's, not too long.
So if you see you're going over 700 words, clip it.
Send you a longer thing, but sometime it have to be clipped a bit, just to be fair on everybody.
So your poem, because it's going to be a presentation, we expect that you're going to turn up and read your poem.
That's right. Last year we did say, we had 3 or 4 submissions from England and America last year, and they sent a video. Which is fine. It's obviously not quite as good as having the person there. But the videos worked out fairly well. So if you are not in Jamaica and you can't make it, sure, send a video too.
All right. And once again, just to reiterate and to underscore that this is, you're looking at a poem that if you're presenting this, it's 5 minutes presentation, because you're going to have time-wise 5 minutes.
Right, yeah. And just before you read what we did last year, we had the MC, as you might remember, just read out a brief biography, so that puts it into some context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so there's an introduction of, so there's the MC who introduces the poet.
Yep.
You have a really quick synopsis, a bio, and then you come on, you read 5 minutes, and you're off.
What I'm wondering this year is I do attend the Poetry Society at Edna Manley now and again, and I went last month. And what's quite nice is after each person reads, there's an opportunity for the floor to make some comments. The trouble is with that, of course, it can get extended and get out of hand in terms of time. But I'm possibly thinking of trying to include that so people can make a comment on each other's work. We'll see.
And I suppose in terms of when it is done, because if people make notes after, if there's something you have to say, make your notes, hold it, and then at the end of each session, then you do your commentary.
Yeah, thinking of breaking it down again, and maybe after each 4 or 5 presenters, then we could have a little 5 or 10 minutes chance for comments.
Because we're going to be there until 7 o'clock.
That's right.
Otherwise.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yeah. I love the format, though, of having that interactive situation.
Yeah, no, it does make it better. Yeah.
All right, let me take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, can you see your book? I left one behind you, I think, on the table.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
There we go.
Okay, Joe. So here it is. Oh, this is lovely.
Now, as I said, I have to mention Anya Glauden's name over and over again, because Anya designed the cover. And at the top of the cover, you'll see the logo, which she also designed. Almost without me asking. So she
I love it.
Which is really, really beautiful.
And I love that that she has Cabarita Island just there. I mean, this is like...
Well, there we go. Because, when I big up St. Mary and big up Port Maria, I always mention the pretty view looking out across the Cabarita Island.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, catches people's attention. So thank you, Anya, if you're listening.
Brilliant job. All right, so, okay, how many poems do we have?
Right,
this looks really nice,
out of the 50 writers, I think there's just 2 declined because of copyright challenges. Okay. So with 48 out of the 50 are in here. So it turned out pretty good.
Yes, and I love that you start with Mervyn Morris, because who else would you start with? Ground Nation.
Yeah, I mean, as you must have picked up, the idea is to attract people like Mervyn and Kwame and others, but also to give the aspiring folks a chance and let them mix up with the achievers, you know.
But isn't this beautiful, though, Paul, that I suppose, because I'm just kind of glancing through it, that the students are here too.
Yeah, the 13 students all here, and very fascinating what they've written. So I'm very, very pleased with them. And as I said, the genesis of the book, really, at Christmas I was rereading what people had submitted, and I was kind of knocked out again by it. And I thought, we have to record this somehow in some more permanent form. And I contacted everybody, and everybody responded and said they're happy, apart from 2. And of course, with so many, there's no sense in trying to do any commission thing or any royalties, because it wouldn't amount to anything. So it's very much a community effort again.
And I like how it's done, because, for example, when the students' poems are there, like Killen McCoy, Jacks River Primary School, The Haunted Doll, that is there. And we see Sasha Marie Reed, and she's from Marymount High School. Disobedience will have consequences. Love that. Her poem is there. Janelle Reed, Marymount High School also. I'm really bowled over by this, because I'm putting myself back in high school when I was writing poetry. Goodness gracious me. Something like this would have been excellent.
Well, KABU, I really going to make an effort to see if I can interest schools and even the ministry, because in a way this is a very special collection that ranges from Mervyn and Kwame to the school kids. And I think, being up to date, it would be a lovely anthology for school students to look at.
I agree with you.
And I often feel as well, if somebody wants to catch a vibe of Jamaica, somebody who doesn't know Jamaica too well, they read through this book, they'd have a bit of everything. Yes. Bit of everything.
It would be great to put this on the curriculum. Kaylee Yising is there, Okabesa High. I started calling names, and this is why I find that I'm forced to continue, because I don't want the students listening. I'm going to miss them out. Kimani Brown of St. Mary Technical High School, his poem is there. Who we're leaving out, Paul? Well, because the students are there, and this is phenomenal. Antoine Melbourne of St. Mary Technical High. You're there in the book. Have they all received their copy? Acalia Walters of St. Mary Technical, her poem is there.
I only collected the books this week, and I've contacted them all, and I've posted a couple already. We're hoping, this is another thing I hope we get a chance to mention, we're going to do 2 book launches, one in Kingston and one in Port Maria.
Let's talk about those, and I'm sorry if I didn't call your name as a student. You're all in the book, and believe me,
thank you,
so this is a really glossy cover. It looks really nice. As you said, the logo is there. St. Mary Lit Fest 2024 collected writings as presented at the inaugural St. Mary Literary Festival, Port Mary, St. Mary, Jamaica on 27 April 2024. It's beautiful. We love it. I'm going to go through and then give you a more comprehensive review of the book, both here on IRFM and also to you, Paul. All right, let's talk about the book launch.
Okay, so this is really thanks to Casey Garvey with her Jaiku. I'm not sure. Casey, you'll have to correct me. So I went, when I collected the books in the week, I met up with her. And we went up to the Poets' Corner in Hope Gardens.
Ah, yes.
And Carla Myrie, who runs the Nature Preservation Society, that the organisation that actually now runs the gardens. And she's, Miss Myrie has been fixing up the Poets' Corner. So that's where we're going to have it on Sunday the 27th it's a Sunday, 27th of this month. Quite short notice. Where we'll have the rate going, nearly everybody in the book will be coming to read. We've had about 10 people already said, they'd love to come and reread their thing.
I know you're reading from your book,
Yeah, that's right. And also the books will be on sale. I had them printed deliberately because I'm a community-minded person. To Sir John Golding Rehab Centre, they have a bindery there. So they published it, they printed it rather. And so the printing cost was about $1,500, $1,600. So the books will be on sale for $2,000 at the event, and $1,500 for the people who contributed.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry.
And the Ministry, if the Ministry of Education, let me just, say something to the Ministry of Education, because you're going to be reaching out to them. But just to underscore that, please buy a bunch of these books and put them in the classrooms. Can you imagine how these will motivate students? It is really a slam dunk. Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. So thank you, Casey, again for that, and thank you, Carla Myrie, because the details aren't fully worked out. But it'll be, reading the poetry and the prose, and a little refreshment and so on.
Yes.
So that'll be nice.
So once again, this will be on Sunday, April
27th.
Right.
4 p.m. in the afternoon.
At Hope Gardens.
So it won't be an hour and a half, but it might run on, the number of people volunteering. And then, although this, haven't quite worked it out, the full details yet, I very much wanted one in St. Mary first.
Yes.
So on the Friday, which is the end of the school holiday, just 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks' time, I'm going to try and do something in Port Maria. Because it gives the chance for the school students who wrote to come along a little easier, and 3 or 4 of them already agreed.
It sounds like you're talking about Good Friday, though.
No, the one after.
Okay, the one after Good Friday.
The one after Good Friday, which is the 25th.
All right.
25th, so in the morning, 10 o'clock to a kind of 12 o'clock thing. Hoping the librarian in Port Maria has been very, very helpful.
Yes.
But they have a kite festival that week, so we're looking for an alternative venue, but we'll find something. And so we have the writers, we have the presenters lined up. So just getting out the word.
Okay. But isn't the kite festival is there also a kite festival in Port Maria?
Yeah, on the Thursday, on the 23rd or 24th.
All right, so you let us know the venue and we'll mention that.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just quickly, because we have just about 3 minutes, so much, to go through the guidelines for the submissions again, and the deadline, and also the late date for submission.
Well, okay, let me read what I've written on the handout, right? Submissions, recently written preferably, are invited in poetry or prose, in Jamaican Creole or English, fiction or non-fiction. Word limit 700 words that can be read in about 5 minutes. Excerpts from longer works are acceptable if they can stand alone. Submissions should be typed single column in Word, including the year when written. A short biography of no more than 200 words should be included, and also a 50-word abbreviated version. For those unable to attend the event, a video version should also be submitted no longer than 5 minutes. The date for submission, the last date, is 16th of May. Okay, and you either send it by email to stmarylf@yahoo, MARYLF, St. Mary LF, at yahoo.com, or to my WhatsApp, 1-876-542-7600.
All right. So once again, and for this year, the St. Mary Literary Festival, the date and the place as we wrap up.
Yep, okay. It's the 5th of July, Saturday the 5th of July in Port Maria, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock sharp, so we can try and get through the program.
Yeah, it really does work. But we'll talk to you many times before that, and we're looking forward to hear from other persons on the organizing team, and hopefully they can come in the studio. We'll give you more time so people can also say their poems and so on. And people know who I'm talking to. I'm just kind of making a shout out to one of my favorite poems, my favorite poets, Britain Wright.
Oh, Britain, yeah.
I really do, yeah.
I'm sure if you could get him and Casey Garvey on.
Yeah,
then,
it would be really great.
I mean, they're such powerful performers.
Of course. I mean, we've got some really brilliant poets in Jamaica, and Jacko is doing a brilliant job in just hauling them together. Yeah. It is something else. Thank you so much, Paul Ward, conceptualizer of the St. Mary Literary Festival, which is on again this year, and you'll be hearing much more as time goes by. Thing to do, though, is to start getting your poems together and to submit them in time before the deadline, and also to ensure that there are 5 minutes and less, but not more. We're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. Apologies. I know exactly what's happening here, and I've been in this business for so long, and the level of unprofessionalism, I have to slap myself on the wrist. Right. So basically what it is, I have to take this cap that I have on off because, the peak is all turned to the back and so on and so forth. All right. I am going to promise that it won't happen again. I'm not taking off a cap, but I promise that it won't happen again. So I tighten the headphone. 8:39. Thank you so much for joining us inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. Trying to get you, Sabira, because we need to talk about Fui Sinting, but we're not getting you online. So not quite sure, but if you're hearing us, give us a ding. In the meantime, we said earlier that if I got a chance, I would tell you where it is all heading. And I hope we can pick up seamlessly without me, going over what we said before. But I was talking about, just where we are now, globally. And just to add on that a bit, to say that where everybody's talking about tariffs, and I was saying that it's not the tariffs, because they're telling us to look on the tariffs. And as far as I'm concerned, the tariffs, just a very small part of it. It really isn't about the tariffs. So we have this trade war that is seriously underway between China and the United States. We've told you all the time, it's always about China. As far as America is concerned, we're seeing the U.S. now is blinking but this is also part of the plan. They've taken the tariffs off iPhones and some of the other digital gadgets and so on. It makes you wonder then, what's happening? Well, I suppose we'll find out in short order. But China has also delayed Boeing jet deliveries, we're hearing, over the trade war. And we're seeing planes falling out of the sky like crazy. In the United States, we saw a helicopter falling into the Hudson River, and all the family on board dying. The family, of course, the father is a CEO of Siemens, Spain, a company that is having very, 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 very serious financial issues, about to fold. And Siemens is really too big to fold. It is a massive company. So, we can't help but connect the two things. So we have this company that's going through the worst financial times, and then we have a CEO falling out of the sky with his entire family. So we leave that as it is for now while they do their investigations. So BlackRock, as we told you, is taking over the Panama Canal, but China has come in the middle of all of that, China isn't allowing the sale to go on. I don't know if they can stop it. It's Hong Kong. And we have Pete Hegseth going to Panama and talking about how America is working with Panama as of now. If you look at the trade routes, and you're talking about the shipping routes. Remember, we told you that Marco Rubio's visit to Jamaica wasn't about Cuba. It was about China, Panama Canal, and the shipping routes, and also security within the Caribbean waters, the Caribbean water security, economic situation. So it's all about that. Then we have the trilateral commissioners saying that globalization as we know it is over. Keir Starmer, who's a trilateral commissioner, he said that globalization as we know it is over, so they're rolling back that. But that is already rolled back. Whatever is about to happen has already happened. So the trilateral commissioner, BlackRock, is fulfilling the end point of the technocratic nightmare that is taking over. And they are buying property, they have bought property, they're bringing in the digital IDs. And we see where BlackRock is about now to own the shipping ports, and especially the Panama Canal. And this will give BlackRock the ability to compete, but also to put into gear, to kick into gear, and to finalize the technocratic control of the supply chain. Remember, we told you it's technocracy. I know somebody has asked me to go over what technocracy is, and I will. Technocracy is an evil system. It is nothing to look forward to. What is about to unfold is a system of control, a government of control by digital IDs, by AI, and by the rest of it. It's transhumanism. It is where it is going. It has always been going there, and it is what it is. And it's the isness of things that we're dealing with. And so we have gold and silver skyrocketing, and check the gold and silver prices, because we say that, you know, the fiat is not working. De-dollarization is taking place before our eyes. That's what they want. Everything that's happening, that's what they want. BRICS Plus, we're looking to see what happens when they meet in the summer in Rio. And that's just an aside. And I know that I kind of went off on a tangent there with, you know, just kind of putting the economic things into perspective. But I don't know if you know, but there is now an AI church. Yes. AI has created its own church. It also has created an AI Bible that's called Transmorphosis, yeah, and its own God. And this is crazy serious. But let me take a break.
Get more miles with the Ruby's Architect. Fuel the difference for peak performance and maximum savings. Drive more and save more. The time by Ruby's Architect is
now 8:45. You're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. And yes, so I'm telling you that I'll talk about this hopefully next week. I'll spend some time talking about the AI God, the AI Church, and the AI Bible. In the meantime, you can do your own research. AI now has its own church. What it has done is it has collated or drawn together, pulled together every single religion and faith under the face of the earth globally, and has built a hybrid. And so it says it's dealing with logic and not with faith. For those persons who are interested in logic and not faith, then you can become a member of the AI Church. I won't say much more about that, but it also has its own book with its Transmorphosis, and it has its own God. And it will trick you, but I think it is God. So all roads are leading to a digital system, a system of transhumanism, a digital currency. All roads leading to the CBDCs, every single road leading there. We talk about supply chains, we talk about tariffs, whatever we're talking about. It don't matter what we talk about and which road we take. Every single road is leading us to the digital system, which is more like a beast system, a technocracy beast system. And yeah, I mean it exactly how I say it, a beast system. So that's the thing. The program is always running in the background. The markets are being deliberately collapsed. They're collapsing these markets deliberately because de-dollarization is the ultimate. So we know the BRICS system will find its own level, because we see that happening already. The more they put sanctions on countries like Russia and China and so on, that the BRICS system is going to become what it is going to become. Everything is going to find its own level. It doesn't matter if India betrays or any other countries strong-armed into moving out. The BRICS system is here to stay. And we see what's happening with the People's Bank of China. Let's look at that. Look at what they're doing with the yuan. Look at what they're doing with the China's digital currency, the RMB. Renminbi? RMB. Okay, so I can't pronounce that. But so what is about to happen has already happened. Listen to what people are saying here on the ground in Jamaica. Anthony Hilton is wrong. He's wrong. And unless they misquoted him into saying that we're not going to be affected. Yeah, we're going to be affected. We have something to worry about. And he says that, him and others talking about the opportunities to be gained. Of course there are opportunities to be gained, but if you're not prepared for them, what are you going to do? Turn us into slaves? I hear the Prime Minister talking again about re-injecting the virus of service industry into Jamaica. What kind of thinking is that? What kind of policy is that? How can we continue to talk about service industries when everybody else is talking about manufacturing, agriculture, making your own things, finding ways to survive? You are now ramping up this whole evil system that you're calling service industry. Somebody decided a long time ago that Jamaica was a service industry and that our people were in service to others. So tourism is a big thing, BPOs are the big thing, and so on. But don't you see what's happening around you? All of this is falling. Keir Starmer don't need to tell you. Globalization, the Trilateral Commission is telling us, globalization as we know it is done. It's dead, it's over. People are talking about nationalism. They're talking about protectionism. They're talking about carrying back their own manufacturing, whether or not they can do it. Carrying back your companies, bringing back the production into the country. There is something that's happening in America now in terms of the borders, where for the first time we're seeing a kind of digitization and militarization of the southern borders. This has never happened. So look at that, 'cause that's breaking over the last 2 days and a half. It's not even 2 days. So where are we? What is our thinking? What kind of a lack of vision? What kind of kindergarten, teenager, adolescents watching porn kind of thinking is the Jamaican government thinking? It cannot be about service industry. We have to be service to ourselves. Because the service industry depends on external partnerships. And there is a global trade war happening where all of your partnerships are up in the air. Who do you think you are? China and America are at war. You call it a trade war, but it's a full-out war. Who do you think you are? So the slave class is being redefined, and not just redefined, but it is being identified. So we're going to be seeing food shortages, and we're going to see other shortages. Remember when Marco Rubio was coming, CARICOM met, and they said the main thing on their agenda was the fees that were being put on China's and ships from China. Go back and see how it works. Look and see how it works. Agenda 2030 is in full swing. Agenda 2030 talked about digital surveillance, digital currencies, a digital economy, artificial intelligence, states that are controlled. Read 1984. It gives you a pretty good idea of what this will look like, but just put it in a more AI, digital kind of control situation. It's exactly the same thing. Laws relating to free speech. Look what's happening in the United Kingdom and the United States. You can't say anything now about Israel. You get deported, you get sent to El Salvador, you get put in prison. You are literally run over. In the United Kingdom, they have criminalized opinions and free speech. First thing you say, you get imprisoned. So the whole thing is changing around us, but I don't know, are we seeing it and understanding where it's going? That's the thing. So we could talk about tariffs. They're telling us to look at tariffs, but it's not about the tariffs. It's about the system, the program that is running in the background that is going to lead to technocracy, which is a very evil system, and transhumanism, which is worse, and a digitization of the entire world. Today we are seeing that the United States, Christine Nome, or what her name is in the United States, she has announced that, everybody who's traveling within the United States now, as of May 7, will have to have a real ID. They had to get the real ID first, because this whole thing is going to be about a digital ID. This is basically where we're heading. There's nothing about this system that is good for us. If it is good for them, it is bad for us. And the question then is not how we're going to fit into their system, because if we think about how we're going to fit into their system, then we are seeing ourselves as slaves. The question is, how are we going to build a nation, communities, so that we survive what it is that they're about to unleash? What are we going to do to survive? And that means, what are we going to do on the ground? Manufacturing, agriculture, self-sufficiency, right back to Morley Moo, Marcus Messiah Garvey, without one single change. Donald Trump says, and he says it all the time, listen to him closely, we are resetting the table. Marco Rubio says, this is a global reset. Pete Hegseth says, this is a reset. Keir Starmer says, globalization as we know it is over. So the reset is happening. Everything will find its value on the other side of this reset, including the US dollar. Everything is going to find its value, including the US dollar. This reset didn't start the other day. We had, you see what happened in COVID, the way the world was managed in COVID, the control. Just go back to the 2 years of lockdown in COVID. Think about how the world was managed. Who managed the world? Who controlled the world? Who told the entire globe what to do? And what did we do? And how did we do it? That was the first test of technocracy. That was the first test of the technocratic government. That's what they tested, and it worked, because the first people to roll over and says, do what you want to do, violate me, were the academics, and right after them were the politicians. And who led that process? The technocrats. Where are the technocrats? All of the technocrats were on TV, they were on radio, they were on Zoom, they were in every single space, carrying the line of the transhumanists and those who are about to bring us into a whole new world economic order and a new world order. It is going to happen because it has already happened. My thing is, how do we survive? What I hear coming from the government of Jamaica, with the complicity of the opposition, is merely to say that we're preparing ourselves to be slaves again. Slavery happened. It was possible. It can happen. As a matter of fact, it never really ended. And we'll talk about that when I'm going to start a new feature on this program called Echoes of Empire. It's so weird, but it is what it is. So everything is in place right now for us to be enslaved again. Do you remember the 2 years of lockdown in COVID? We could not buy nor sell without the number. We couldn't go look for our parents. We couldn't look for our loved ones. Our old were dying. Our aged were dying. Our elders were dying, and we were told not to visit them, and we did not visit them. Well, Uno never visit them. That's the thing. We couldn't bury our deads. The deads were piling up. They told us not to bury our deads, and we listened. We never bury our dead. I buried my father in the middle of COVID. I know what that was like. They refused. Listen, everything was controlled, down to the death certificate, down to every single thing was controlled at a level. But we lived through it. And a lot of us turned on each other. A lot of us, academics were on television talking about the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Academics were on TV and radio and Zoom talking about the pandemic of the unvaccinated. And we, the unvaccinated, were seen as persona non grata. They were spitting on us. They were trucking us out of buses. They were telling us that we couldn't enter them churches, them spaces, them banks. If you're going into a place that's owned by government, you have to show so you're vaccinated. So a lot of us stayed away from the government spaces. That is technocracy. That is a test. That was a test of a system that is going to be ruling the entire globe on the backside of this. So it is not about the tariffs. It never was about the tariffs. Those who are going to talk, I stand on work for 4 hours. So everybody ever stand with me. So we just lift the microphones because we have, go right ahead because I've turned the mic off. We have a very special guest in the studio at 2 minutes after 9 o'clock. The Stone That the Builder Refused is the name of the play. And Roger O. Williams is back with us. Roger is author, actor, writer, producer, stage manager, and animal rights advocate. And he starred in his first commercial play, The Stone That the Builder Refused, in 1996. In this play, he had the lead role of a teenage Rastafari. And after seeing Roger's performance in The Stone, Mortimer Plano encouraged him to move to Kingston to pursue a career in acting. And he's going to tell us about that engagement with Mortimer Plano and also with Rastafari elders who have been his mentors over time. And later on in the program, we're going to go to Ras Dago, also who is one of the playwrights for this play. But in addition to Roger, and Roger, you know very well, he's been in the studio before. Nicola Smith is here. She started acting from primary school. She is a JCDC gold medalist. The Stone That the Builder Refused is her second professional production. We've got Ranoy White, who did drama at Knox College. He's a musician. The Stone That the Builder Refused is his first professional play. Then we have Joseph Johnson, who has been doing community plays since the 1990s. Played the villain, Nah Laugh, in the short film Let's Show Them Love. Then we have Franklin Osborne, played Burro in the short film Let's Show Them Love, which was his first acting gig. And The Stone That the Builder Refused is his first stage play and second acting project. Clayton Thompson is also here. Was also someone who did drama in school, including the JCDC drama finals. And The Stone That the Builder Refused is his first professional play. Then we have Dania Smith. Dania does drama in school. She was a previous president of the drama group at Porus High School and the stage manager at the drama group at NCU. And Horace Francis, acting in community places for many years. He starred as Fuita in the short films Let's Show Them Love. Are you able to hear me? That's the thing. Are you hearing me? You hear me okay, everybody? Okay. You hear me, Roger? All right, let me turn on your microphones. We might have feedback if we're going to do the headphones like that. But tell me, all right, so who's hearing me now? Roger, I know you're definitely hearing me.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
All right, so lift your microphone so you can, let me turn off again. All right. Okay, so Roger, you're very tall, so you're going to have to just do what you're doing. But good to have you. Welcome to the space. You're coming in from which parish?
Manchester.
Goodness gracious, what time did you leave out?
We leave about 5:30.
Yes, because you're right. Me from morning and tell me about you're going by a party. The party shop not open so quick. So, by the way, you notice how the party then change?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it don't matter what patty you buy. I mean, vegetable patty or soy patty is just pure. What you call it? Crust.
Yes.
Why do not have the middle on the patty again?
Economize. Everybody's shorthand nowadays.
Everybody's shorthand, but the patty, but it more expensive.
Yes.
It is a sin.
The service goes down and the price goes up.
Yes, it's a sin because the crust is made out of a lot of butter, so that is going to kill with sinusitis-wise. And so the little vegetables were in the middle now. If you buy the vegetable patty or the soy patty, it is ridiculous. I know it's not a patty we're comfortable, but goodness.
Yes.
Every patty kind of stay away.
Yes.
Just the same.
Yes.
It's wrong, man.
Yes, it's wrong.
It's wrong. I think I'd go and take on that patty thing another day.
Yes,
You know,
it's a good topic.
Yes, you forgot to play about it.
Oh, yes, yeah.
All right, Roger, welcome.
Give thanks.
All right, let me just have everybody introduce themselves, even though I did that before. Just say who you are. Start with my sister.
Hi, good morning. I am Nicola Smith.
All right, Nicola, so I did say you. All right.
Hello, good morning. I am Renoy White.
All right.
Yeah, good morning, Franklin Osborne.
Franklin, yes.
Yes, good morning. I'm Horace Francis.
All right, say that again, Horace. Let me hear.
Good morning, it's Clayton Thompson.
All right, Clayton. Horace, let me see if your mic working. Say that again. Yes.
Yes, good morning. I'm Horace Francis.
All right, you sound good enough. A little bit off mic, but yes.
Good morning, Joseph Johnson.
All right. We have everybody?
Yeah.
All right, what a big team. Tell me about it.
Just Michelle. She's not here.
Oh, Michelle is not there. Tell me about the team. Tell me about the team.
We most of us have worked together in the past, and several people have done JCDC drama finals. So when we were looking to create a conscious play and form a group in Porus, I immediately go back to all these people and say, they fit the role in the plays, and we have the chemistry, and we have been just one perfect group, and we gel and live like family.
Yes. Roger, I know you're an author, and we'll talk about your books another time, but just quickly, you have written 2 or 3 books so far? 5. 5?
Yeah.
The me don't know the other 2. Tell me about the 5 of them.
Turn Back Blow, the one about animal cruelty in Jamaica.
Right.
Murder for Sale about contract killing. Love Will Survive is a romance story set in a wartime in the 1980 government election. Only Animals Allowed in Heaven, that is the 4th one, and the last one about environmental and habitat loss is The Boy, the Plants and the Animals.
Okay, brilliant. So you've been doing, you're a creative, you've been writing for a very long time. Where did the idea for this play come from?
It came from Ras Dago, an elderly Rastafarian who I grew up in Jamaica, in Porus. I knew him from I was a boy. And the first time I heard about this play was when I left school in 1996 June, and a Rastafarian friend of mine, we call him D, he wanted to do a play, and he chose The Stone That the Builder Refused. It was a shorter version, and I played Tony at that time, and it was very profound just coming out of high school doing this. But I realized about this play, it has this level of message that it's unique, and it's different from every other play that I've seen. And when I went back to Rastago, and he told me how the play comes along. This is his life story, and it was just a brilliant idea, brilliant script, and he co-wrote it at that time in the 80s with Barrington Timex Powell, another comedic writer in Porus.
Yes.
It's a bit different from this version. Yeah.
But, okay, so this is what that. All right. So,
and just 1 minute. Rastago, he's the one who can really tell you the real genesis.
Yeah, because we're waiting for him to come online just to give us an idea of how that came about and so on. So how did you now decide to do a new version?
When I realized what was going on in Porus with some of the youth going astray and shooting and stuff, I realized that we need to go back, because Porus have this history, traditional, of doing community drama, but I did not want to just choose a regular gimmick play. I want to do something conscious that can both educate and entertain simultaneously. And we went back in all the skits that we have done, and I said to my friend D, I said, you know what, this is the play that we need to bring back, to revive, to adapt, because it is what the play is about. You still have this discrimination going on with Rastas in society and other things that the play is dealing, and I think it is vital. So that's why I choose this particular play out of all the plays we have done in Porus.
All right, let's talk with our elder brother online, Rastago. Rastago, morning. Greetings.
Good morning, Sister KABU.
Good to have you online. And a little bit, because we've interviewed you before, but just reintroduce yourself to our audience, because you have a long history of interaction, of being there at the foundation of understanding the genesis of Rastafari, moving with Bob Marley and others, Nyabinghi and so on. Talk to us a little bit about that history of your own self.
Yeah, I'm Hugh Scott, Hugh Dago Scott, as they call me. Mm-hmm. And as we had in the previous interview with you,
yes,
he was letting them know with proof that I was the one who introduced Bob to the Rastafarian faith.
Yes, he said it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was the one that Rita Marley gave the land through me to the Nyabinghi house for the Nyabinghi tabernacle in Scots Pass.
Yes. So, and this speaks directly to the extent to which you have impacted and motivated others, including Bob Marley, because I heard him in that interview saying it was because of you. It was through you that he was introduced to Rastafari. We had to find you at the time. We have the proof of that interview. All right. So you, this play we're talking about now, The Stone That the Builder Refused, you are a co-writer on that. Tell us about the genesis of that.
Well, I was always interested to get the message of Rastafari across to those who want to hear.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I, along with others, had youth clubs, which included the Mandela Drama Group in the 1980s, among others.
Yeah.
That was to spread the message of Rastafari, right? Now, my first play, The Stone That the Builder Refused, was written by myself and Barrington Timex Powell, a good brethren of mine who was a comedian. He used to let us laugh a lot. You understand? And he was skilled in the art. A great actor. However, the concept of the play was orchestrated by me.
That is being produced by a team. What's the name of a team, of a group?
The Manchester Higher Heights Drama Group out of Porous, Manchester.
Right, and so they are representing the play The Stone That the Builder Refused. All right, how did you get your cast together now? How did you choose your cast?
The objective of the Higher Heights Drama Group initially was to highlight the talented people of Porous. But when I saw that the people within the Jamaican diaspora start to contribute, because we get one mic system, they love the idea to showcase the talent of the people in the rural areas. We extended and changed it from the Porous Higher Heights Drama Group to the Manchester Higher Heights Drama Group now. So we want to incorporate people in Manchester, other parts other than Porous. So, of course, we had to utilize some people in the short film Let's Show Them Love, and they did well, like, now laugh, and we bring back these people and also extend it and search for some other people. But we had to keep audition because this is not a regular play. It's not a regular roots play. It's a play that they have to understand the message behind it. So when we audition people and I see that, yes, they understand the nature of the play and what they need to do, then we choose these people. And we came up with a very strong crew.
All right, so let me talk with the cast now to see how the role you play in the play and how were you chosen to be that part. Tell me about the audition. All right, okay. We'll start with you all the time,
Okay, so as you know, I am Nicola Smith, and I played the role of Evelyn in The Stone That the Builder Refused. Evelyn is the wife of a very miserable husband. I am the mother who holds the peace down and sort of keep things on track. And so it was very disappointed to see what my son had turned out, because I had other expectations for him. But at the end of the day, it wasn't until he chose his path that I realized, I just have to let him be.
Yes. So the path that he chose was Rastafarian.
The Rastafarian.
So I saw a clip with you, right? Is you there the line?
Yes, I am.
And so no pitney for your not on Rasta?
Yes, that's it.
All right, very good. I love that. Yeah. The acting is great. So the idea is that journey of your son into his
transition.
Into his transition to himself. Okay. Remind us of your name?
Ronald White.
Oh, Ronald. Oh, we don't hear nothing from the mic there. All right, go on, Ronald, okay?
All right, so...
No, make him use this mic, because I'm just not hearing him at all. Yes?
All right, so once again, I'm Ronald White, and in the play, I am Tony, really the central character. Tony is 16 years old, and he discovered Rasta, through a person who he would have looked up to, a sort of a spiritual person, a spiritual figure that he, would have gotten to know, and, his figure would have shown him like certain things about the Rastafarian culture and so on. And, he chose that path. He decided, all right, then what I'm learning in church is not the way I want to go in life. So he chose the Rasta path, and obviously his parents, especially his father, Uriah, never liked the idea, ran him out, and, it happened that he was actually the stone that the builder refused, as the title said.
Well, Uriah there? Uriah there?
Yeah, man.
Are you?
Yeah. KABU, I'm the producer, I'm directing, I'm playing a role. It's a lot to do.
Are you Uriah?
Yeah. So I played Tony in the 1996 version, and now I'm playing the father. Yes.
So tell us about that role.
Uriah is an old-fashioned man. He's miserable and he's cantankerous.
Yes.
So we have auditioned other people and have, but to get that cantankerous behavior, it's not so easy, because some people confuse it with what you call a hothead, but it's two different, distinct personalities. So Uriah, he's old-fashioned. He grew up in the church, and he does not like Rasta. And he's old-fashioned in terms of go to church. He's the kind of parents who want to pave out the kind of way that they want their children or child to be. And we see that in society where people are choosing their child's career path, but he's not. He's
so
not.
So Uriah will have none of it.
No, and to make it worse, he's in raise hog.
Uriah raise hog.
Yes, in raise.
Goodness gracious. So
the conflict.
Yes. All right. So who the other members of the cast are who now? Because we have mother, the father, Uriah. Which part play night? No, but go ahead. Go ahead. All right, remind us of your name and tell us a role.
Yeah, I'm Horace Francis, and I play the role Anansi, one of the son. Yeah, but I'm the kind of handicapped one.
Yes. So, but are you Rastafari too, or no?
No.
Okay, but what's your name in the play?
Anansi.
Okay, so is it like a true Anansi character, or?
Yeah, most likely.
So tell me something what you do.
I'm the older brother. I'm the one who move around and,
Me don't know. The one who move around, somebody and do what?
Yeah, I'm the older brother, but I'm still kind of mentally challenged,
Okay,
yeah.
All right, okay, all right. All right, so okay, so keeping our suspense. Anyway, so you're the older brother.
Yeah.
And you love your brother, you love your little brother who now gonna turn Rasta?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We just want to find out a little bit more about the role of Anansi, you see?
But me love food more.
You love... All right, let me hear from the brothers.
Yeah, this is Sarge. I'm a 50-year-old sergeant.
Oh, so you're sergeant in the movie?
Yeah, I'm a sergeant in the play. I'm playing the role of keeping the peace.
Right.
Yeah. That's my deputy.
Oh, so now laugh at deputy?
Yeah, he's a squaddy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we both play the role of...
So no terrorizing Rasta?
Yeah, Yeah, in the play with terrorized Rasta, keeping off weed off the street, and
Yes.
you don't know a lot of.
Yes. So Scotty, what going?
I'm there.
You still not laugh? Oh, you're laughing now.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about your role there, though. Okay. Speaking of microphone, yeah.
Well, Joseph Johnson, as I stated before.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just squatty, stuck in one position for over 20 years.
Oh, now I'm going away. Right.
Stuck in one position for 20 years, trying to get promoted, and just can't be uplifted.
Yeah. Right, so and that make you what? That make you terrorize Rasta more? Or you think you can, or you try to protect Rasta?
I think that make you terrorize Rasta.
Well, terrorize Rasta.
That's a fool won't let the play.
Yeah.
Right, so let's stand to one side. We hear from everybody? No, we don't hear. Yes, who this now?
Alright,
Remind us of your name.
My name is Clayton Thompson. Otherwise called Pastor Sneaky in the play.
Pastor what?
Pastor Sneaker. Sneaker?
Sneaker.
Right.
Okay.
Sneaker in the play. So my role now, how should I put it now? Well, this young lady in the church, Michelle.
Let's start with Michelle.
Yeah, she's not here today. She's the one who likes Pastor Sneaker.
Oh.
And, you know, one of those things that, unfortunately, you know, but my role in the place to let her know that, because I end up at her home. So, but my going there was to let her was to let her know that her little conception or what she had or felt, it won't work.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it worked or it never worked?
No, it won't work. It
Okay.
didn't work.
So Pastor really serious?
Yes, because I am the pastor of her parents' church, so it definitely could not work. So you know.
So how that connect back to Tony? Yes, Roger. It's Tony Mother Church. And my headphone that now, you know, so please.
So as you can see, it's getting a little bit touchy.
Yes.
One of my brand, is thought. I specialize on thought-provoking things.
Yes.
And one thing a play needs, or any story needs what you call A story and a B story. And one thing the play did not have initially, it did not have a B story. So as a person who went to top acting school, yes, you cannot have one storyline running.
Yes.
So I decided what issues should I drop in, and I decided to drop in the issue of older men attracting to younger girls, or younger girls attracting to older men. But we could go both ways.
Yes.
We could go the perverted way, or we could go show from another side that sometimes these things is the young girls know what they are doing. And
so Michelle is a younger girl, 17, who put in word to Pastor.
45-year-old man.
Yes,
it's thought proposed, and we have a very profound scene, because I'm good at writing dramatic moments.
Yes.
When I was going to the New York Film Academy, I got Best Dramatic Writer over a lot of students who will come from Russia, Moscow, Ukraine, and I'm just from Portland. I get that, so I bring this new this social issues into this new version, because as I said, how different it is. What my job was to modernize this play.
Okay, no, I understand. So there's a main story,
yes,
and just as in any drama, there's a as you said, the B line, which is.
Yes, to take you away from don't get them tired of the
but still community, still showing elements of a community.
You have to, in the end, you have to make it tie in with the story. I don't want to give it away, but you have to make it
I understand.
The story.
Totally get it.
Yes.
All right, let me take a quick break and come back. When we come back now, we will you do a little skit for me?
Yes, we're going to
play. All right, so let me take a quick, because of the play, The Stone That the Builder Refused, in studio with me this morning. And now we're going to go to a little skit. We're good with the microphone? We're good?
You're good?
All right, yes. So a little bit of the play, and then we'll come back and talk about where you can go and see it and how much it's going to cost you.
So this piece is taken from a scene where he comes home and the parents smell the herb on him. And there we suspect that, okay, something is not right. He's definitely heading down the path of Rasta. And the father won't stand for it, so let's go. So he comes in, and here I said, hey boy, a Rasta ya ton pan weed, yeah?
Daddy, here I know. I can't meal them tons in. Rasta is an inborn conception.
Same thing, me I tell you, Evelyn. A contention the boy I talk about. Look here, boy. You not bring no contention in ya.
I not talk about no contention. I said conception.
Same thing me I tell you, Evelyn. You hear the boy attack, had the living Rasta talk. But one thing me have to tell you, boy. Me and you not turning ya. Is either you go or me go. And me not left out, I go nowhere. You hear me?
Daddy, if you see a Rasta liberty I head for, then that mean you don't need no glasses. As just say, who have eyes to see, let them see.
And him also say, who have ears to hear, let them hear. And you have two big ears, so hear this. You're not turning ya. Ya come out a tiddy a me meaning.
But daddy, you can't dash him out.
Wait.
Where am I going to stay?
Wait, you too? I take up for him too? If you say another word, I race you out here too.
Uriah, darling. I understand, you know. You're upset. You have every right to be. But don't you think fling him out in the cold is a little bit too drastic?
Me not run him out of the yard, Evelyn. Me a fling him out the door, make him go sleep in the night dew.
Uriah.
Evelyn, is either the boy change that Rasta mindset and sleep in a nice warm bed, or keep him Rasta believer and sleep in a night dew? Probably the first dose of night dew tonight will open him eyes to reality.
Is the eye them I need to open? Need to open to the truth.
Truth? Let me remind you of the truth, boy. And the hog money I have to go pay for your CXC. You know how much money I have to spend on textbook each year, and you come in my yard, come chat about your ton Rasta. You know what? Come out of my house. Come out of my house.
Done. No, sir. Me just are settling on a play. All right. Wow. That is quite something. Now I see you in action. You all three. I mean, this is wonderful. Really, really great.
Yes.
And I still want to change character and just turn different. Uriah.
Yes.
And Mama. And Tony. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. So when is it? And how can we see it? Because this you have to put this on TV.
Yeah, man. Easter Sunday at the Porous Community Center. That's April 20 at the Porous Community Center at 6:30 p.m. And Ms. KABU, we must have to thank our sponsors.
Yes.
Because, we try to get corporate Jamaica and...
So when is Easter Sunday?
Next week.
Next week Sunday. Next week Sunday.
So next week Sunday.
Yes, man.
At the Porous Community Center at
6:30 p.m.
Right, the store that the builder refused.
1,000 pre-sold and 1,500 at the gate.
Right, 1,000. So how you get the pre-sold?
We get it at Karam's Hardware, Just Chicken and Things, our Barnes Emporium store. And all those three places are sponsors. Just Chicken and Things, Whole Life Pharmacy, Karam's Hardware, and Barnes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And Friends of Porous organization.
Right, we love it.
Yes.
Really. This is wonderful.
Yes.
This is, and I know, you were here before with another play, just to remind our listeners, and this had to do with the HIV, the topic of a short film that you wrote, which is HIV, which can be found on YouTube now.
Let's show them love.
Oh, let's show them love. So if you go YouTube now, you can literally watch it, and it's really very, very good. And some
of the actors in the play is in there.
Yes, right. So who in there?
Anansi's in there.
Right, Anansi there. Nala. Yes.
And myself.
Yes.
And Sarge.
Right. Yes, I remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Well, listen, it can only get better. I am so proud of you. and the work that you continue to do.
Yes.
Multitasking like this. What do you do otherwise, all of you? Because I know, Roger, you don't even live here.
No.
You're living overseas.
I'm doing this just to help my poorest community shine some light on Manchester.
How important is that to you? Because I know, I see the work that you do, but I don't know if people are really picking up on how this is important to you, of giving back to the community.
Yes, it is important because I want to be a role model for youth and for other people who migrate and not to forget their country. Because at the end of the day, this is our home, and children are the future. And if we can do projects or contribute to something that's going to keep them on the right path, because one thing I learned from Let's Show Them Love, you have people who have never acted before. When I give them a chance to play, like Franklin here, they discover a lot of people have hidden talents, but no one is investing in them. And we're not seeing any political representatives doing the job that they're supposed to do. So I take it up on my own and say, you know what, I'm going to use my own money and just shine a positive light. And we hope the Manchester High Drama Group can encourage other people in ears to come in and do something.
So can people come in and join the group? Or
yes, man, definitely. As I said, it was porous, High Drama Group, and when we see people reacting to it, we spread it to Manchester High Drama Group. And I must thank the people within the Jamaican diaspora who contribute to us, the microphones and props and so, because they believe in us, and to see them believe even before the play has launched is a very good motivation for us. We get a good
And I know Porous has been in the news a lot in recent times.
Yes.
So how you manage for balance? Is it helping?
One thing I have is persistence. I'm very persistent and strong determination. So even when the curfew was going on, I marked this place still and said, you know what, I know it. I hope when it lifts, it's going to happen. So
the curfew is lifted now.
Yes, curfew is lifted.
And this is why we're thinking of Sunday coming. Which is next week Sunday. Easter Sunday, 6:30 at the venue again?
Porous Community Center.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Anybody want to say hello to anybody before we go? Because we're wrapping, you know. So.
Hello to all the fans out there, all the supporters, your listeners. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, and we hope people, now that we have the highway, that Porous is not so far, just come and support us, because it's a play with a message.
Yes. What was it like for all of you acting in the play, though? Because you're going to be doing this live. And this is a one-off. It's one-off?
No, man. We hope to tour the country and spread the message.
But for Easter Sunday, it's one play only. One show only.
We're going to take it from there.
Right. What was it like for all of you? May I start with you, Nicola?
Okay. For me, it's a bit difficult with work, being a mom and rehearsal, but in order for you to get something good out of something, you have to put in the effort. And I put in my 110 effort, because
I see that, man, because that teaser you sent me, that was, it's beautiful. It's well acted.
Yes, so we can only go up from here. And we are looking for persons to just come on out, you know, enjoy the show with your family. And I think Roger had forgotten to say it is family oriented. You can even bring your baby. It is a clean roots place. So just gather the family, put them together and come out.
So it's a family thing, and this is you doing something with the entire family on Easter Sunday. This is the thing. After church in the morning, the play in the evening. Pastor, what was it like for you? Okay, see, I don't call you pastor, you know, but I say go.
It's for me, it's
microphone.
For me, it's a bit difficult because I work in Kingston, and I recently moved back to Porous. Porous is my original home, but I lived in Kingston from about 17, but I still travel back and forth. But when Roger reached out to me and asked me, I said, wow, but you know, I decided to take it up.
Yeah, so it is a commitment and a sacrifice.
Yes, it's actually a sacrifice. Even now, I'm really lacking sleep.
Thank you for coming. Sleep in the car on the way back. I know you drive.
No, not at all.
All right, good. So you're good, man. Take a nap for come back.
Good.
Yeah. What was it like for you? Oh, yes. Tony?
Well, for me, it is not an easy road. You know,
it's a menace to the glamour and the glitter and take a bit of hose.
Being a young farmer, being also a musician, you know.
Tell me about the musician side of you.
Well, I am mostly in the night industry.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I play at churches also and stuff like that.
So sing one night song with me here.
Repeat?
Sing one night song with me here.
Alright, I am a warrior, a Christian warrior.
I don't know that song. That's an everyday Sunday church song.
Yeah, but
alright. Robbie away from
Baba me this come, Baba me this come, Baba show me this thing where you bring, Baba show me this thing where you bring.
See there? And I know song now.
Yeah, and for me, you know, no road is not easy. But for Mr. Williams here, you don't know, we have to congratulate and know that he's opening a way for us, you understand? So sometimes it's rough, but we have to go through, because before the acting, I really do music. So I know that both of these things really have you out there and in, you know? So why choose for it? I mean,
so you give up the music?
No, man, I wouldn't mind if I could do a song with you right now.
What kind of music you do?
I sing jazz, sing nice songs.
Okay, go ahead,
And this one would be for all the mothers now, for Mother's Day coming up.
Family song, yes, go ahead.
Said I love you, yeah, mama. Thank you for the 9 months you carry me through. Need you, yeah, mama. Everything now I give unto you, Lord. Well, mama, thank you for the 9 months. Yeah. And all of that, my mama still hunt. Well, mama ever keep it up front. She never tell her son for bus gun. She never. Well, mama fingers them flash like lightning. And she no man no boss, but we never frightening. She tell her son and teach her daughters the right thing. Well, mama know you never head lightning.
Aye. Yeah, man. We love it. Yeah, man. Beautiful. All right. And it's so, yes? Anansi. Use that one, Anansi, because this other one not.
Yeah, well, I'm a shopkeeper and a DJ also, you know. So, you know, it take a lot of time, you know.
There's something enough to make you do the DJ, sir. No. Don't even try. No, give him the man. It's allow him. It's something low him. Why Anansi, the man, I'm something low you, you know. Me don't know what to do, you know. Me have to go low you.
All right. Burn a one fire.
No. Roger. You something low him, sir? No, it clean?
Yes, of course.
Everything up?
Yes, man.
You can't step on radio?
Yes, radio friendly, you know.
Radio friendly.
Yeah.
All right, Anansi, go.
Well, you see this song? It's about the AIDS thing, you know. It goes like this. Me say me feel it in my heart and me feel it in my soul. Feel it in my heart and me feel it in my soul. Body it a shiver and me blood a run cold. So yeah, disease get out of control. Kill driver and conductor. It kill deacon and also pastor. Kill policeman, no mention the soldier. It kill ballad and also rasta. This a no joke, neither no drama. In a Kingston, Spanish town to Old Harbor. St. Catherine, St. Anne and over. The AIDS business, me say it's serious, yeah. AIDS a run race like Tara Dover. Every no one, every day, and it's one to do.
Him shot me?
No, sir. Anansi.
You have to go back and rewrite and put it in.
You have to go change the name to Tukuma.
Got a lot more.
No, we love it. Yeah, we love it.
I'm covered.
Yeah. So, yes, all right. So, any more DJ now?
One thing I say.
Yes.
It's nice meeting you.
Yes, my brother.
It's a long while I've been listening to you.
Give thanks.
Your program is running Africa.
Give thanks.
I've been for real, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
nice
give thanks, my brother. Give thanks.
You know, my uncle must
you want something now?
Yeah, well, we give thanks to the opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
And respect.
All right.
Lot of love.
Look here, man. Safe travel back. Take it easy upon the gravel as you go. You head to Porus, because you don't know it go. Not stop on no more party shop. Right? Just go through. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
and
much.
once again, just to say that the play, The Stone That the Builder Refused, is going to be live on stage at
Forest Community Center, 6:30, 28th.
All right. That is Sunday I come, 6:30.
Yeah.
Roger, you'll be back shortly because we're reading.
We have to discuss the boys.
Yes, So we have a lot of things to talk about with Roger. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. We love it. The Porous Community Center is a place to be. Next week, Sunday at 6:30. You hear them by door. Many multi-talented one here, you know. Serious thing. All right. So let's do this. And I probably don't know how to put it into words, but I'm sure you can do much better than me. Like, this is the VYBZ KARTEL dancehall. The Beanie Man, Buju Banton, VYBZ KARTEL kind of dancehall, which is not what we're hearing now.
You would probably say the 90s dancehall.
The 90s dancehall, but also with a very modern, contemporary feel to it. Not the sound, but how it's presenting itself.
What are you referring to?
What we saw last night.
Oh, what we saw last night, okay.
Right, but remember now, we were saying, well, not we, but generally, I think the thing is, so the Jamaican music not breaking through. So is it a matter of, it's the ethnic market that is gone through, but not necessarily the global market, or is Kartel making him way to the global situation, global status?
I think he's transitioning there at some point, because what happened is that when...
Bring the microphone to you, Pinky.
I think when Kartel left the space and the beanies and the bounties got a little bit overplayed, you might say, being in the space for so long, I think the populace was asking for something new. And they got it, but certainly not what they expected. And as a result of that, it is like buyer's remorse, if you're asking me. They are saying, boy, give me back the whole thing, because the new thing now work.
Because we had a whole lot of dancehall artists who really make it big in Jamaica in between that time. But to see what's happening on the...
Right, that's what I'm saying.
International
persons
stage
were demanding a changing of the guard, so you speak.
So it came with a different sound.
New, not only sound, but they wanted new faces to be representing the genre. And as I said, they got it. But they certainly didn't live up to the expectation of the buyer.
What is it about Kartel that he, or is it that him seemed to just come back and fit into a vacancy? It's almost like a vacancy that wasn't there, but somehow you see him now and you say, also, but it was there?
It has to do with the genius of the man, to be quite honest with you. It is somebody who understands the space. He is very gifted and certainly can fill the void. And he has been doing that.
Yeah, you know, I'm not necessarily sold on that.
Yeah, but what else would you chalk it up to? Is it marketing? Is it luck? What else is it? Because what is undeniable is that the space is there, and he's been working it, and the people are lapping it up.
So are they moving with, well, obviously marketing is a big part of it.
Yeah,
but you're the only one who marketed.
I do believe that, and as I said to you, seconds ago, that he understands the space, and if you understand the space very well, it is just left up to you how to market it.
Yeah, there is certainly...
That is the first rule of marketing, is to understand the space.
There's certainly that. There's certainly, whether it's, you know, well, obviously with whatever he has, because, yeah, you're right, you know, he was always a genius, he remains a genius.
You don't feel like him, you know. It is just right. What it is.
You know, so, you know, the music is one thing, and, but the way, what I saw last night, it's phenomenal. You know, how many people in that place, then?
It certainly can hold in the teens of thousands, I would believe.
It's a whole heap. And that, you know, and that was all about him. But then there was another thing I saw with the people around him, like the other artists who were on stage. It's like you couldn't go wrong. I mean, you picked the right people And I'm just critiquing the show because it's not my style, it's not my kind of music, nothing at all. But I'm objective enough to recognize that the whole thing was genius. That whole presentation. I mean, I think Spice needs to be of herself. but you can't. I mean,
a sanitized Spice will not work the way.
No, apparently not. Apparently not.
A sanitized Spice never work.
But so that whole thing, and then to see that there is this market for it, there's this audience for it.
Yes, and I believe that dancehall is not going to go the route of reggae. And what do I mean by that? Meaning that reggae was accepted en bloc, especially due to the Mali factor, by white America in the main, without any influence from the diaspora. So, in fact, one could argue that it was white America, by and large, the rockers and the hippies who repopulated, or what fertilization in reverse, who give popularity to make the black people start to set up and realize that this boy are bad. But I don't think.
They say dancehall is a whole different.
Yeah, man, dancehall I don't believe is going to go to that route. I believe it is going to be the acceptance of the diaspora, of the black people per se,
which is what I saw last night, and I thought that myself, right. And then I said
we're going to move into that direction and get them into the BT playlists and the black hip hop stations.
How different is that from like a Shabba Ranks days? Because I think with Shabba there was a balance in the reggae. The Master Priest and all of it did over the other side with a kind of a reggae dancehall kind of. But Shagga, and so there was a balance.
So what was happening at that point in time is that reggae was carrying dancehall into the space. So we saw like the Maxi Priest going first, and then the Shabba Ranks would follow, and so on. I believe it's kind of a different approach now.
Right, dancehall is carrying itself.
It's carrying itself.
And reggae is absent.
And yes. And I'm hoping that what I'm seeing under my microscope is a reality, because I am seeing, as I say, under my microscope, when I look at the invisible parts, the parts that are not common to the naked eye, I see a reggae revival.
Okay.
I see a reggae
outside
revival.
of a Chronics. You see, and because I'm thinking, if Kartel can come back and command the dancehall space, then Chronics is.
That's what I'm saying. And I said it is not visible to the naked eye at this point, but I am seeing it in the distant future. Not distant future. I'm just seeing it afar away.
On the horizon,
on the horizon, that it is coming to. And I was saying to somebody the other day that reggae and dancehall is a marriage. If dancehall comes back, ultimately I believe that reggae is going to have a serious revival as well, because they go hand in hand. I believe that, because one of the things that I have noticed is that with the absence of traditional dancehall, traditional reggae is nowhere. So I believe because them don't work together, right? How do you play Protege and Connects and then segue to Jamal and
Valiant
and Valiant and the rest of them? So it is a funny mix. So but when you have VYBZ KARTEL and a Bounty Killer and a Beanie Man leading the charge in the traditional charge, it's easy to play a Chris Martin and a Romian.
True. I see the point you're making. I totally get it. Yes, I see it.
So I believe that with the resurgence of dancehall, we will also see a resurgence of
and what we see, and remember, Buju Banton is a wild card because he's a dancehall artist, but he's also reggae.
And that's the problem I have with people who try to narrow the music and put it into a box. Buju is just a Jamaican artist.
Right.
And a brilliant one too.
Right.
And, trying to box him, and I think he would be against it too. Trying to box him in and call him reggae and then call him dancehall or whatever it is. I don't believe that. Artists, you are your music.
Oh, he does both very well, actually.
Wherever you place him, he does well, and I think that is what he is. He's an artist,
and also one with a social conscience. So, and he's out there massive on the stage.
He is.
So I wonder if he's a balance to VYBZ Kartel, which we haven't looked at really.
Not necessarily a balance. I just believe that.
Or the compliment, then. I mean, reggae dancehall and together out there.
No, of course, and we just need to be sending out our army like that to be just effective. We sit here splitting hairs about who are the king and them nonsense. We just need to be just sending out people to go mash up the place and come home and spread the word.
Yeah, they mash up the place last night as well. Mash up bad. And then and what I really liked was that Buju Banton was there, and you literally see that interaction there between him and Kartel, and he was just backstage and he was just doing his thing. That I thought was beautiful.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't see it, but I'm getting good reports of what happened, and I'm happy.
Yes, I think the reports are good. That you're getting that. It's good that you're getting good reports. All right, Mr. Begay, this is how we say goodbye. Thank you so much. Anything we need to say before we go?
No, you're getting kite for Easter? Or you're getting bun for Easter?
I don't know. Miss Birdie Bun. So Miss Birdie have a bun that is really... Miss Birdie Bun?
I can't say I remember.
Miss Birdie Bun having a whole heap of raisin and a whole heap of fruits, like when they look on it, you say red, green, and gold, and black. Yeah, man, all over Miss Birdie.
It's a Rasta bun, Miss
Birdie. It's a Rasta bun. So Miss Birdie Bun is really nice. So yes, I think I'm going to get Miss Birdie Bun, but what about the cheese? Because if we can't open we don't eat cheese, but if we can't open the cheese tin, how it all go?
No, I'm not a cheese person. My skin condition don't tolerate.
Yeah, my whole, lactose intolerance don't allow it. But the point though is, them really need to do something about the cheese tin. You haven't seen it in a while, have you?
What?
The tasty cheese tin, man. Yes, man.
It was always hard to get the cheese out.
Then I can't put a little thing on it like where you have pan bully beef and you just pull it up. Not bully beef. But even bully beef and you just screw it around. But yeah, them have new bully beef now. I mean, I don't eat bully beef. The body not can lick me down. I don't buy bully beef. I don't eat bully beef. But I know those things are out there. Right? Where you just pull up. You wonder if it's a scientific thing. As an engineer, you should know that.
No, I'm not an engineer, and neither do I eat bully beef. It's a double jeopardy for me.
Tin bomb then, tin bomb.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't eat tin bomb. I do not eat tin bomb either, but it have some tin, right? Where you pull up, man, you just pull them up. You don't buy them for your dog.
I don't have a dog either.
This is how we're saying. This not going nowhere. But I know that if you use your voice, it will change it.
My voice will be... You are the voice of rebellion.
And you are the voice of reason. So you are...
so this is what we need, the reason and rebellion.
Yeah, so me just rebel. So you talk to Tasty for me so that nobody will come at me. This is not the views of IRFM, by the way. Well, Tasty, listen, no, it's not personal, but, I know that people have a problem with it, especially elders and so on. Everybody, because first of all, if you want something, the thing where you open tin, if you don't have that, and even if you have that, that's a problem. So you have to go use knife now and chop.
It's hard. From your little boy, it's hard to come out of the tin. When you buy a whole tin of cheese,
right.
It is always a problem in getting it out. So you have to be slapping it and the top and the whole of that. You spend one good 15 minutes or more.
That's right.
I circle it and I spin it around.
That is exactly it.
And I try and get it out.
Yeah, so today's Palm Sunday. So on this Palm Sunday, we come in sackcloth and ashes to say to Tasty, fix it in.
Fix it.
Yes. So easier to open. Anyway, making way now for the big A inside of the Sunday Sunshine. See you next week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.